Good evening, members of Spiritual and DDN Encounters. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is having a wonderful evening. For those tuning in on Restream, uh, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble, I'm your host, ACS. Here on this Tuesday evening, we have Spiritual and DDN Encounters Open Mic Night, where members of Spiritual and DDN Encounters are more than welcome to jump on. It's a drop a link later on and share an experience or an encounter. So, how's everybody doing? As for me, I'm hanging in there, brothers and sisters. This heat in Texas is no joke. Pretty hot. I'm sharing this live to the groups that I share to, real quick. And there we are. We're all shared out, brothers and sisters. Whoever's here tuning in, how you doing, Sister Amy Creel? Hope you're having a wonderful evening. I decided to go live a little bit early here tonight. Uh, just to do an early live. Hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. Yeah, it's been pretty hot here in Texas. We stripped down the fan outside and cleaned the coils. We bought a cleaner, sprayed it. My son and my stepson? They broke it down and they cleaned the coils. And all the dirt that was in there, they cleaned it up real good. With this weather being so hot, cleaning the coils will help. And it's pretty fresh in here right now. Yeah, it was like 90 something here in Texas today, like 95, 97 earlier. So if you have an AC unit, you can clean the coils. You just make sure you got the power off. If you clean the coils and get all the dirt from the coils that runs your fan that runs outside your AC, it'll be able to suck in more air, and it'll work better and it'll help the unit inside, right, breathe better, and make sure you change out your filter also. Got to make sure your filters are changed, because if the filters get clogged up, the filters for inside the unit, they have a lot of dirt or dust, then it's not going to be able to breathe properly, so you're overworking the system. But yes, it was pretty hot here today. I think this one of the first times in a long time that we're feeling the heat waves over here. Been pretty hot. Makes you really not want to do nothing. It's like you go outside and it's automatic sweat because it's so hot outside. But we've still been staying busy over here. Again, worked on that, and it's blowing pretty good, keeping the house pretty fresh. Brutal hot in Louisiana. So how y'all doing tonight? I decided to go early, just to do it. Go early. It is open mic night. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop a link. If anybody's got a story they want to share or an encounter, experience, whatever the case might be, you're more than welcome to click on the link that I'm about to drop and jump on here. Here we go. Fixing to drop the link. And boom, there it is. Yeah, you got to stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water. If you ought to know the symptoms for dehydration, you get bloodshot red eyes, you get dry lips, stomach cramps, sweaty palms. Uh, Sometimes your lips start turning purple, or if it's very serious, uh, you start hallucinating as part of dehydration. And if it's severe dehydration, then your skin starts cracking. Which the best way to is don't drink a little bit of water, but pour some water on you, because if your skin is cracking, is that you're real dehydrated. It's called keep your lay down on the ground, elevate your feet on something, and call for help. Those are symptoms of severe dehydration, and you got to keep you got boots on or whatever, loosen up the boots or take away whatever shoes you got on, elevate your feet, uh, try to stay calm and relax, till help gets there or somebody comes. uh, Medics, paramedics, come with an IV bag to hydrate you back up. It's severe, brother and sisters. The sun ain't no joke. uh, you're supposed to drink plenty of water during the day. uh, I used to be a combat lifesaver in the military, so I used to give IVs to people if they were dehydrated out there in the field problem. I could give them an IV. Sometimes some soldiers would drink too much, in which they needed an IV. So I would do that, give out IVs. Had the IV bag to hydrate the people that needed the IV bag. Then I go back to the aid station and get a refill. I always kept my little. It was a little green bag had strapped around my waist when I was in the army. I always kept it with me just in case, something would happen to somebody. Yeah, you try to keep something on your head. A hat. A hat or one of those sombreros, straw hat. You know, uh, Try to stay shaded, keep in the shade, but still stay hydrated. Yeah, my dogs, they'll be out there for a little bit, running around for about 30 minutes, rocking rebel. Next thing you know, they're waiting to come back in. They want to come back from out, being out there in the sun. Okay. So there's the link. I'm going to pin it up on top. Yeah, I've seen people. There was this guy. He could promoted to sergeant before I did, and he was in the army less than I was in. I had already been to war and stuff, and I would tell him because where I've been. I already been to the desert. He had never been to the desert, and I was telling him, look, man, you need to drink water. We're out there in a field problem, and I seen how hot it was on Fort Hood, and I said, you need to drink water. And he's like, I'm an NCO. You don't tell me what to do. I'm higher ranked than you. So, okay, man, I'm just trying to help you, you know. Say he would be like, you're mad because I got promoted before you did, blah blah blah, whatever. And which, yeah, it was kind of messed up, but I was just trying to give him advice, like, hey, drink water. He's not drinking water, right? So he's like, I'm an NCO, United States Army. You don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do, right? So this guy's standing on top of the tank. We're underneath some trees in between Pilot Knob and Clabber Creek, right? Because we're waiting to do a mission or whatever. But we're parked underneath a shade tree because it was so hot that day. So he's sitting on top of the tank. It was a little bit. He was, how should I say, overweight. Just put it that way. And he was sitting on the chair up there, and he started talking, and he's not making no sense. He's not making no sense of the words that are coming in his mouth. And I'm like, hey, man, are you okay? Are you okay? And he's like mumbling something that I understand what he's saying. As he stands up on top of the tank, he falls right over, lands on the ground. You hear a big thud, and that's a pretty good drop, right? So he's laying on the ground, and he is. When I see him, his face looks pale. When we talk about people talk about rakes, that they're pale. Well, that's a sign of kind of like dehydration. Somebody being dehydrated. And anybody's ever seen a person dehydrated that they need water? They look pale from the face, right? And as I'm there, and you're supposed to give just a little bit of water in the lips, And I had called the medics over the radio, and as I'm there, I seen his skin starts cracking. Like literally, his skin starts cracking open because he's that dehydrated. So I grabbed the jug of water I had on top of the tank, and I pour it on him. Pour it on him, and loosen up his boots, elevate his boots, and keep his legs elevated. And then I call the medics. The medics show up. We load them up in the medic Humvee, and I'm going with them. They're taking him to the hospital. I'm going to keeping an eye on them. As we're going to the hospital, his the Humvee, the radiator gives out on it, so the Humvee can't move. So I'm trying to tell the medics to give him an IV, and they're not giving. And they're medics. They're not giving him no IV. I say he needs an IV. Look at his skin; it's cracking. They don't want to give him an IV, and they're like, we're medics, so we know what we're doing. Blah blah blah. So there's another delay there. So we finally get him to the hospital. When we get him to the hospital, he needs like 3 IV bags just to hydrate him. And the sad thing about it, that is, in the military, if something like that were to happen to you because you're not drinking the water you're supposed to be drinking, that's an automatic Article 15, because you're part of the military, right? So that's an automatic Article 15. He's lucky they didn't give him one, but they could have given him one because he wasn't taking care of his body. Now, when you take an oath, you're part of the military. Yes, people, the government says, or your government property. He gave him 3 IV bags and all that. It took him a while to get back out there, and they finally took him out there. And he's telling me, that he was sorry for what he was said to me. And then he told me, thank you. When he found out it was me, the one that helped him, But he apologized, and after that, he was cool with me, you know. And I just told him, look, man, I said, I'm just letting you know because I've been out there in the heat. I know what can happen, you know. Yeah, you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself, you know. If you're out there training, and you know what, you can get dehydrated even in the cold temperatures. You got to stay hydrated 24/7, even if it's cold. Drink some water. Your body needs it. I don't know how much percentage. I think it was like 90 something percentage of your body is made out of water. So you don't got enough water in your body, then sometimes you get migraines, severe headaches, many symptoms dealing with being dehydrated. So, since it's been hot, I would suggest, drink like a gallon, hydrate. You'll see a difference because you feel different when you hydrate. So you haven't been drinking water during this hot weather. I would suggest to hydrate. How you doing, cousin Jesse? How you doing tonight? You gotta stay hydrated, folks. I know when I was a kid and they would have me running around out there in South Texas in the Rio Grande Valley, 100 and 107, 110 degrees. We'd be out there running around all day playing outside. But one thing I did do is drink plenty of water. Even if it was water out of the water hose, we drank water. Thank you, cousin Jesse. Yeah, I try my best to drink as much water as possible. We drink the big 1 liters when I was in the army. Big 1 liter bottles. I would drink like 12 or 13 a day or more. It's a lot of water. You got to keep your body hydrated. Yeah, very high temperatures. I mean, we got everything running pretty good here right now. So we cleaned the coils of the outside unit of my son and my stepson, and we put it back up. And man, that AC is feeling awesome in here. Changed up the filter and the inside also. They teach you everything in the military. Any situation that you could think of, they train you for it. You know, whether it's dehydration, whether it's somebody having a heart attack, whether it's somebody choking on something, uh, whether it's somebody that has a broken leg or a broken arm. They tell you exactly what to do. Any kind of wounds, they tell you how to put treatment on it. And you train and you train and you train, and it becomes first nature. We got 7 viewers right now because I started early, but I figured why not do an early live? Start around 10, 10, 15, 10, 20. I think it was like 10:05 when I started. I'm not sure. See, we're at 19 minutes and it's 10:36. Yeah. I know when I was out there in the desert, they get the water from the ocean. They have a water plant, a water plant that's literally set up on the ocean. and they recycle the water that's by the ocean, and that's where they get the water from. It's literally from the ocean itself. They have a water. Uh, the bottle used to be called Medina water. That's what the name of it was. So they recycle water from the ocean. That's how they get the from the. Uh, that's how they would get the water. Or they get the money. So they spend a lot of money on their plants, water plants that they got set up along the ocean. It's called Medina water. No difference in the plants that we have here in the United States, but the water that we get is like from different locations. For some from lakes, some from rivers, some from under the ground. You know, and then they make this bottled waters. Right? They used to give us cases and cases of water. We'll have them on top of the tanks, like 4 or 5 cases. Strap them to the tank, and we eat the MREs. Sometimes the MREs had this dehydrated fruit, like strawberries, and you crunch it, and you want it. You have the bottled water. You stick it in the water, and when it um, hydrates, it turns into the fruit, and so you'll have fruit inside your water. So your water is kind of flavored a little bit if you wanted to drink it that way. But yes, tonight is open mic night, spiritual DN encounters, open mic night, where the viewers are allowed to come and share an experience, whatever experience you want to share. You're more than welcome to share it. I said I was having some kind of problems, with something was happening here. I still haven't even looked at it because I've been busy doing other things. But we are live. We got 7 viewers here. I see cousin Jesse here. If he's still here, I'm gonna drop a link if anybody wants to jump on, talk about anything. Now I can continue to talk. I don't plan to talk too long tonight. Probably like an hour or two. I want to be done early tonight. Water is very important to us, brothers and sisters. We need water to survive. So, if there was a war, the way you can stop something is, if there's a war and the enemy needs food and water to survive, well, you take away the water supply, or you take away the food supply, in which you take up the water supply or fuel supply. They can only be limited to be able to do certain things with their tanks. If you take away the water supply, well, the body can only last so long without water. So it's just a thought, It's a thought of why it's important to keep the border secured. That's where there's EPA and all that, because you don't want water to be contaminated. Yeah, water is very important. The body can only last for so long without water. I've seen it where when I was in the army, they had a land nav course, and they'll send the soldiers to do the night I think, yeah, land nav during the day, and someone will get lost. And they normally say, if you get lost, stay in place till somebody finds you. And I think some of the soldiers would stay in place, and they would think, well, I can find my way out of here. But the only thing that they did when they're trying to find the way out is get more lost and go out of the location where they do the land nav course. And there's been many soldiers that have died during land nav course. Land nav course is something that you're supposed to know, but also when you go to any school, whether it's PLDC, ANOC, BNOC, ANOC, you have to pass that course. It's important to pass that course, and that's where accidents happen. By the time they send a party to go try to find them, by then it might be too late because if they can't find the person for about 2 or 3 days, the body couldn't last so long without water or food, especially in this heat. Right. So who do we got here? We got somebody named Beyond Undisclosed. Are you related to Beyond the Box? I felt that people, uh, even when I was younger, I helped out somebody. I was working at a hospital as a maintenance guy. I was a teenager. And as soon as this guy pull up in a, what do you call those cars? It was an oldie. Uh, what was it called? No, it was a Chevy. I just can't remember what's the name of that car, but it's an oldie. And I seen a guy holding his chest, so I helped him, took him to the emergency room. I was carrying him, helping him out, and I think it was a Thunderbird. Can't remember the name of the car, but I helped out the guy. I helped out the guy, and I took him to the emergency room, and they were checking him out. He thought he was having a heart attack because he had been driving with the top on, um, and he was holding his chest. But what he had was he was a little bit dehydrated, but he had heartburn. So it was heartburn that he had, and he thought it was a heart attack. So they gave him an IV and stuff like that, and he said he was going to go play. It was called something Thunderbirds was the name of the band, and I helped him, and he told me to show up at the island. They say show up to the island, and you and whoever you want to bring, show up to the island, and you get a free backstage pass to see everything how we play and all that because you helped me. And he told me thank you, and I was telling my friends about it, and yeah, he was legit. Let me see I'll tell you the name of the band that he played for. Yeah, it's a rock band. They were called the Fabulous Thunderbirds, and the guy I helped was the main guy was. Let me see. You can see it. Was that guy with the bald headed guy with a goatee? That's the dude that's the guy that I helped. Was that individual right there? That's the guy that gave me the pass, and I seen him play and everything. We could see that year there was like 90,000 or 100,000 people on the beach. So as I was on the stage, I could see everybody, man. Like the cold crowd. It was pretty awesome just to be out there. And just for doing a good deed. Okay, here we go. Who do we got here? I see 9 viewers there. What do y'all want to talk about? This is y'all night. Y'all got a story to share. You know, you want to share something, a story, an encounter. You're more than welcome. Whether it's spiritual, DDN, alien encounter, cryptid encounter, bruja encounter. I mean, you name it. Cult encounter. There's beyond the box. I think Jesse is taking a break or he's in ninja mode right now because I haven't seen him come back on here. I did start early. It was a hot day today, so I said let me start early tonight so I can finish early. Said it's been 30 minutes to pass by that people can come on that are members of spiritual Dean encounters. You're more than welcome to come on and share a story, whatever the case. Here we go. See what we got going on here. We got Duval Outdoors. I mean, I can share something here with you. Got Sister Brenda there. I can share a video. Before people come on here on the live. How you doing, Sister Brenda?
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. Did you bring your friend Shad
No, he is
tonight?
he is traveling back home from
Ah,
his mom's. So I mean from his dad. So he's en route. I don't, but he is doing a lot better. Um, I I did have him. I told him to contact Susie and talk to her a little bit about some of the things that were bothering him. I told him to come over here, but I know right now he's so aggravated, he almost feels like it's a burden. And I keep telling him it's not. It is not. So, but he sounded a lot better. He sounded a lot happier. So I was okay with that. And he's supposed to get with me when he gets home so we can go over a few things. So.
Because I was talking at the beginning of the show, I was talking about dehydration, how it's important to drink water, especially in this heat.
Yeah.
I was talking to the folks about changing your filters in AC, and if you have the fan outside, clean the coils so air can breathe there, and it'll keep, it won't put too much pressure in the unit.
Right.
That's what we did today. Is we took it out, took it apart, put some foam cleaner, and we rinsed it all off, cleaned it up real good, and started it back up, and it's nice and fresh in here. Change up the filter. Got to do that maintenance on it.
Hang on, I need to mute myself for just 1 minute.
We got Andres.
I see him. Hi, Andres.
We got Flower.
Yep. So Jesse was in here and then he left.
Rebel.
He must have gotten tired.
Well, he said he would be right back, so I don't know.
Oh. Yeah.
I know sometimes he goes and monitors that other friend of his group on TikTok, so he might be doing that.
Fine. Tell him, go away. Leave us alone then. So I went outside earlier today and it was actually quite nice. The sun was out. I guess maybe it's because I don't go out much, so I forget what the sun feels like. So yeah. It was nice. It was.
Yeah, where I live, I got a pretty good shade for in front of the house. It's real shaded because of the trees, real big. So the tree's like a big umbrella.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It brings a lot of shade on top of the house, to the side of the house, and that's I think this was helped us some. But now that we got the AC going fixed and cleaned it up, it should keep hopefully the bill down, the electric bill.
Yes, that should help. When those are bad, they have to be, they have to be clean.
People fear cryptids. Well, people in Texas fear the electricity bill.
When I moved from the other place where I was to here, I had central air there. My bills were $250, $300 a month. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people that, and they say it's from childhood trauma, that I have to have the TV on when I go to sleep. I have to have that on. So I have that on all the time. Sometimes if I have things plugged into my computer that I need charged, I'll leave it on all night. And my bills were outrageous. We get here, I do the same exact thing, and our bills are like $120. That split unit is heaven sent. So, yeah, those things are great.
What is it called?
Hang on. You might be able to see it. Give me a minute here.
Oh, that unit.
Yeah, those. And it cools the whole entire house. And they're so much better. They make those in Japan. And actually, Walmart runs off of really big ones.
How much do those run, Sister Brenda?
I do not know. I mean, like I said, my electric bill has just been really low. For a house probably your size, You would have to probably put one on one end of the house and one on the other, and then they'll meet up and cool everything. Um, but that one cools this room, the other room, the bathroom, the kitchen, the whole thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And is it it goes throughout your house?
No, the air does, but
Oh
that's the only thing. Outside there's a pole and it's got a box sitting on it that looks like a fan, and then the hoses run into the wall. It's just a hole this big into the wall, and all the hoses go in, and then it goes right into that, and that's
wow.
it. Yeah. I know when we first came over here to look at this place, I was like, why do they have box fans outside of all these houses? I thought they were fans. And then I can't, because I'd never seen one before. So they're
Sister
pretty
never seems to
nice.
say their AC bill used to be 800. It had 3 units. Oh wow.
Good Lord, I'd kick some of those units out.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
God,
she lives
800.
in Arizona, so you know Arizona is hot.
I used to live in a place where all I had was a swamp cooler when I lived in Arizona. And I know it's hot. I had heat stroke at 130-degree heat. So, yeah, I know how hot it gets out there.
I grew up with no AC. The only fans we had was window fans. I'm talking about those window fans that cost like 10, 15 bucks that you put in the window. That's
Yeah.
it. We had no ceiling fans or no AC.
Well,
I didn't grow up with no air conditioning,
I
so
have
I was used to the heat.
I've been invited at the end of this month or sometime next month to go to California and go visit. And I have family out there because I originally came from there. And I've always hated it and said I will never go back. But they really want me to come and visit. So I'm thinking about it, seriously thinking about it. So I might leave for a couple weeks. Now, Glenn's talking about taking a road trip heading that way. So we're trying to figure out if he wants to come down here and pick me up, take me with him. Although he said if we argue like we do on the show, he's going to kick me out on the side of the road. But
Oh, that's not good.
I know he won't do that. He could say it all he wants. He could even drive up a couple of inches, but he'll stop and come and get me. Because if he doesn't, I have his wife's phone number. I'll call and tell on him. But yeah, nah,
You
he's
got to think, Sister Cynthia. Maybe you had to do services on your units. You have to service the units.
yeah.
Make sure you have enough freon, right?
Well,
And it's
even
but
this one, they come. I've lived here 3 years. They've not had to service it yet. But the vents, the filters, we pop them off once a month. We clean them, dry them off, and put them right back up there again. Wipe the whole entire outside out, the up underneath, which we forgot to shut the thing, but up underneath and everything. But I've been here 3 years and they haven't had to not once come put anything in it.
so
So,
they're all electrical.
mhm, yep, all electric. Yeah, and it took a lot off my bill. I was kind of shocked. So,
That and you got to find yourself a good service
yeah.
where they can
Well,
give you those deals. You know, there's some that have good deals. So they charge you a certain amount of money per kilowatt.
I have used a buddy of mine used to work for Ambit, and I've used them now for probably 10 years. And it's usually pretty good. And when it's up, he'll call me and say, "Hey, your contract's coming up," and I'll say, "Okay, redo it." You
Yeah,
know,
and then they give you a deal.
yeah,
That's all we'll be doing. Uh, we just renew it. I don't know what kind of deal they gave us or nothing. My wife is the one that took care of it.
yeah. It's okay though. I don't mind it.
Never Ginger says she had a basement home. It stayed cool down there, but my room was hot. LOL.
It always stays cool in the basement.
Uh, I don't think there's basements here in Texas. Not that I know of, but there probably is. There probably is some homes.
When I lived in Ohio, of course, we didn't only have a basement in there. For the first time, I got to see how they used to cool homes way back in the old days. It had a vent on the outside, a big metal lid that you lifted up. And it was a separate room from the basement itself. It had a door, and they called it a coal room. So a truck used to come up and dump coal inside the inside that room, and then off it went, and you would stay warm. What is that?
It's a
Oh,
cat.
it's a Scott. It's a puppy. He's smelling something. What you got down there? You're smelling on, Scott. Don't clean yourself on camera, Scott. How you doing, Scott?
Good. Yeah, I'm feeding the cats outside. I got the cats running around inside. That's crazy, man. Oh my God.
And you're wearing that, and they think you're going to eat them all.
Yeah, it's funny when I did this initially, the cats are kind of playing.
Andres says, "Hi Scott, hearing feedback from you. Got your
Okay.
hearing aid on with a question mark."
Maybe I should turn this.
Wait. I don't hear it as much now. Was it a fan or something you had running?
No, maybe I had the volume up too high. Here.
Could have been. Could have been.
Well, dogs do hear at a different frequency, so
Yes, they do.
So you guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I turned it up. I guess, it's like, it's kind of an EQ, like when you change the volume setting, maybe, once you get on, because I turned it up, and I think that's what does it. It changes the streaming sound. I don't know. Again.
You said he's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard it at first, and I was looking off somewhere else, and I was like, what is that noise? And I looked.
Well, too, when I turn my head, that hearing aid, too, sometimes I get to squelch. When I put two hearing aids together, you hear this. See the cat up on the cat? See the new one up on the cat box there, on the cat tree? Oh, my God. She's a handful, I'll tell you that. Oh, my God. This cat is like, and then I try to get as a sidebar, I've been trying to get the cat's nails trimmed, especially my cat, his back claws. Nobody will do it. Everything is.
Get the cat shirt on.
Yeah.
The Thundercats.
Thundercats, cat claws, but they won't do it. The cat had the rabies shots, and, it's all this prerequisite stuff. So if I had two people here, I could wrap the cat up in a blanket, and get one paw, one paw, and wrestle this cat. I could do it. But anyways, I'm trying, I want to get the big cat's claws trimmed because, they're pawing, and, I don't want the little cat to get his eyeball scratched out, So anyways, such as the cat fights go on and on.
Yeah,
So,
that happens.
Hey, I don't know if you guys know, but this AI, I've been running into, changing passwords and usernames. I don't know. Have you guys noticed? And I heard about this, but everything is going to AI. I mean, you don't talk to anybody anymore, and it's starting to, really affect me psychologically because when you're on, waiting for this AI agent to come on, you're on hold. And these third party, government contractors that they're using for, I mean, can you imagine? This stuff is going to get into Social Security, everything, and it's kind of where I used to work for the military. They had this place called One Stop, and you went and got your CAT card, your military card, all these sorts of things. And it was called One Stop. Your fingerprints, your photograph, and it seems like what I've been observing is they're using a lot of these sorts of government military one stops as contractors to go into state institutions and stuff this is my theory, as a one stop, meaning like, oh my gosh, can you imagine how easy it would be to hack into something that is controlled not by the government but by contractors. Yeah. Wow. I mean, and I remember even as a government, state employee, but I was involved with the military affairs and so forth. So I had to follow all these military rules and regulations, and security. And I think I even had a top secret clearance one time, because I had to go into these cyber, being involved with maintenance, going into these cyber, areas, right, that were off limits. And they were probably listening at that time. They're probably listening to people, on their emails and their phone calls and all that stuff too, Yeah. And they can, they can change the emails, and I saw that happen actually, just as a sidebar also, even where I was employed, emails could be sent to somebody, for example, me. And then of course, what I did is I would put it into a folder to save it. But then like the next day that email would be changed or deleted, right? So, stuff could be changed, because I always I always protected my back, even in this world, Abe's talking about spiritual warfare, covering your back. Well, even in the physical world, you have to cover your back, with people, right? I mean, it's a warfare everywhere, physical, spiritual. Oh my God,
that's what it is.
Oh man, I tell you.
Now, Scott, let me ask you a question. When you talk about like getting on AI and it's like a third party person, are you calling someplace where you're getting that, or are they calling you?
No, these are what I found out today is when I went online too to find out, the thing about AI too, I mean, it's a two-edged sword, because AI also will give you like, who are they? Who is this, this site that is, and they call it security risk. They add another security blanket because they've had fraud and and this is regarding like state, retirement kind of stuff. All right. So they've got a new, not to go on and on about this, but then I went to AI and I typed in like, who are these people? So come to find out, it was started by the military person, which is like, oh my God. And then also
it's like this, Scott. It's like this. Click. That's what it is.
No, well, no. But no, I'm talking about that this is legit. This is like the AI mentioned. These are contractors. These are contractors that are, that states have adopted. And this is not Arizona. I mean, this is like everywhere. So what I'm thinking is it's part of the New World Order or part of the beast system in Revelation. I mean, it's all coming together, meaning like, you know, the control of the human finances, spiritual, you know, this stuff is like escalating on, you know, they want this, what I used to work at, this one stop thing, you know, one stop, everything is controlled. Your whereabouts, right? That's all, you know, this flock, you know, these things they're putting up, monitoring everybody driving. Because I replaced all these LED lights all over the base and everywhere. Well, a lot of that's got they're all trackers, you know, in the LED light systems, they're tracking everybody.
Yeah.
And you know, oh, it's mandatory, you know. So, you know, I'm with all this energy stuff, and you know, we did all this, and you know, all this kind of stuff. What I'm saying is, this technology has probably started, of course, with the military, and then it goes into the public sector with contractors, right? So, not to get too hyper about this, but I see like, wow, you control the finances of somebody, you control your car, whether they can turn it off and on, they control your medicine, they control, you know, I mean,
well, Scott,
wow.
They've been controlling our financial institutes since the Titanic sank.
Right.
They have been controlling our medication since around that time too.
Yes.
I mean, it isn't anything new, but they are getting too carried away with AI. I do agree.
Well,
I like I said, the first time I turned on my Facebook and I seen you can have an AI boyfriend, I'm like, no thanks. No, that's okay.
well,
And it tells you, he tells you when you get on there, hi dear, how was your day? Come and sit down and tell me all about it. And I was like, oh, this is creepy. Get out of here.
now I have to admit, it is a two-edged sword because I use it to type in stuff, you know, and it'll give me, you know, a background on, you know, different stuff. And, you know, which is like, instead of using, you know, Google in the old days, you know, you're using this AI and, you know, is there anything else we can tell you?
Well,
You know,
and who was it that brought up the flock cameras? Let me look. Who was it?
somebody.
No, Sister Neva's Angel.
Yeah, and you're right. But see, here's the problem. Those things, everything that they use like that can be used for good or for bad.
Yep.
When somebody steals a kid, they can track that license plate and find out where they're at and where they're going, and they can rescue that kid. But then on the other hand, well, they're too busy wandering around wondering what the rest of us are doing. So, I mean, anything that you get, anything that is happening right now, it can be used for good or it can be used for bad.
Right.
I think it all depends on whose hands they're in. They really need to be in our hands because apparently the government is not the hands it needs to be in.
Yeah. And that is so easily, you know, like Eisenhower said, this whole thing about the military industrial complex, you know, he warned us about this. Well, you know, that is, you know, back then and even today, it's way over everybody's head. I mean, they don't have a clue what that really is.
Right.
And, so, you know, it's kind of, not to put the military down or anything like that, but
I don't think that the military industrial complex really has a lot to do with the actual individual militaries themselves. They are a separate entity. I am very convinced they are a separate entity.
Yeah.
Okay. They get their own money. They steal their own money or however they acquire it. I still would like to know what happened to the $2.3 trillion that disappeared out between the Pentagon and the Twin Towers.
Right.
I still would like to know where that went.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think that they really have much to do with the actual military. I think when they were started at one time, they may have been, but I don't think they are anymore.
Wow.
Everything we have in government has gotten way too big for its britches. Way too big. Pentagon, our 3-letter agencies, they've all gotten way too big for their
Yeah.
britches. So
So it's there's a slow infiltration. That's what it really is. It's an infiltration, and it's so easy. Probably, I mean, this is my own opinion. For example, I think it takes like $5,000 to be a contractor in Phoenix. You know, to be a contractor in something. Now you know about the bribery and everything else on that kind of stuff, and it's even like, I believe also to keep people employed, people keep the money coming in. For example, like where I worked, hey, we have to spend this money, this $1 million. We have to spend $1 million in a month.
oh,
How are we going to do it? How are we going to do it?
I can do it. Give it to me. I can spend $1 million in a month.
Yeah. But they divvy it up, right?
Right.
Or they change people's, job descriptions. All these shenanigans that they do. Of course, I wasn't involved with it because being in maintenance, you're in the bottom. You're in the bottom of the barrel, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like, they got to get rid of this money to get that next million or proposal, another, another million, next year. Because everything's got to be like in 6 months or a year before.
Well, so, I don't know if any of you have noticed, but in a lot of Walmarts, they have the digital price tags. Now, those digital price tags will change throughout the day, depending on how many people are shopping. And you can end up getting a card to scan those. And there are school buses in certain places where the parents have to give the kids a card and they have to tap it to get on the bus. What does that sound like?
Wow. Yeah.
I ain't falling for it. If I had a kid right now, it wouldn't be going to school anyways.
No
it
way.
Would be homeschooled, period.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the bottom line.
Well, I've admitted every time on here that I got 4 years of college. It's like what a waste of time,
Right.
I wish my parents would have started a pizza parlor and I worked in making pizzas.
Right.
14 years onward. That would have been great. I would have loved it. I would have had money in my pocket. I would have had a house paid for.
I just want to say this, okay? And I want to say this to everybody. We have to push back. That's right, Rebel. You tell them. We have to push back.
Yeah.
We have to. We have to go. Everybody needs to stop this racism crap because we all need to stand together. Because if we do not, every bit of rights that we think we have right now are going to completely get wiped out.
Yeah.
We have to push back on them. We can't let them keep doing what they're doing. I have been signing petition after petition and found out that the ground that was broken in East Texas for that data center, they pulled out because of all the petitions, and Greg Abbott made all those laws that if they opened it up, they had to pay for their own water, they had to pay for their own electricity. Wow. It wasn't supposed to harm us. They pulled out. I was so excited. I'm like, give us another one. Give us another one.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're right.
You have to do it. You have to do it.
I think they're building one here in Temple, Sister Brenda.
Are they?
I think so.
Okay, I'll get a hold of the girls. We're gonna have.
It takes one person. It takes one person too. Only one person. And I did that in Santa Cruz, California. This is not about. This was something to do with the bus system and how the transfer system works. And I went and talked to a congressman saying, I know a better way of doing this transfer system. And sooner or later, all of a sudden, the buses, they changed. They changed the bus system because of me, because I went to a congressman, which, by the way, went on to Washington, and his name was Leon Panetta. I don't know if you guys remember him, but he was Secretary of State or something like that, high up, later. But anyways, it takes one person to bring awareness. And I think I might have to call one of my congressmen today about some stuff that I've learned.
Talk to your congressman and start a petition and go around to everybody and have them sign that petition. And I mean, a lot of people, especially if you tell them what it's about or what it's for, a lot of them will sign it, believe it or not. More than which ones will shut the door in your face.
I got the information here, Sister Brenda.
Okay.
Temple, Texas hosts multiple major data centers projects, most notably the newly operational 1.2 billion Meta AI campus and the 300 MW Rowan digital infrastructure project. The AI data center located off Industrial Boulevard and Epperhurt Road is in Northwest Temple Industrial Park. It spans over 760,000 square feet across multiple buildings and represents 1.2 billion investment and officially went live in July 2026. You know how I was telling you that there was strange activity happening?
Yeah. It
just turned live, which might be the reason why I'm having the things that are happening around here.
I'm going to go ahead
and then you got the Ryan Project Temple, a 700-acre, 300 MW hyperscale campus along Bob White Road in South Temple, backed by a $700 million minimum investment. It broke ground in March 2026, which targeted completion window running into 2027.
Okay. I'm going to get a hold of I'll send another email to Governor Abbott's office and find out if that one in Temple agrees to follow the law that he signed in, which is they have to provide their own water and their own electricity. Our bills are not allowed to go up, and our water bills are not allowed to go up. So if they don't want to comply to it, they will either be sued, shut down, or they can back out. So those were the three options that they gave them.
They have another one. They have like two more. They have the Obedient Connect Temple Real Estate Development Supporting Data Center near Arthur Road, and they had Longhorn Data Center, a smaller 135,000 square feet mission critical facility completed in late 2020-30. And then they have the infrastructure and operations, power utilities partnering with regional providers like Encore to utilize existing power grids.
Now, the one in Temple, are the buildings already built, or has the ground just been broken?
No, I've seen stuff when we're going that way down the back road. We've seen like, what is that? You could tell it was a facility that's already been built on it already. Yeah,
they have to stop this, especially next to. Now, the one that we worked on was the one in the rural areas, but they really need to keep them out of where everybody lives, where people live. That stuff is dangerous. Not to mention, can you imagine what those things can do to your body with all the frequency that they run through it? That is a no. That's a no.
Yeah, and that noise, I've seen videos. But here's the thing, you guys. What are they for, though, really? You know what I mean?
I am getting together some information, and I'm here to tell you they are for something more than what they're saying they're for.
I believe that. I think it's a front.
I have suspicions. Okay.
I got a funny suspicion that's better than yours.
What's your suspicion?
Okay, let me say mine first.
Okay.
Soylent Green.
Oh, that's a good one, but that might also.
Does Abe know that?
I don't. Oh, well, they've been doing that to us already. What do you think McDonald's is made of? Why do you think I haven't eaten there in like a decade?
I mean, they're like popping up everywhere like popcorn.
I kind of wonder if they are for several different reasons. Number one, they want to come out with the AI robots to be able to take over everybody's job. Well, they're going to have big electric grids to be able to run those, number one. And we all know there are a lot of different tunnels and cities underground. So I think they're also being used, and that's why they need so much water because they're taking ours. I think they're being used for these cities, for all the rich people that think that we're useless eaters, so they can all go live down there and be happy and healthy and fresh and drink water.
I think they're using them at nighttime because there's a lot of activity that's been happening at nighttime.
Yep.
Before I started this live, I was outside and I seen like somebody was standing in the middle of the road. Then I'm looking again. I see something there, but I don't see a person, but I see like right in the center of the road, and there's a light pole and everything. You can see there's something there, but it doesn't look human. It's just a black silhouette, and you're standing in the middle of the road. So
Wow.
I'm looking at it, and I was like, well, maybe a car passed by so I can see what it is. But the car never passed through, so I just came back inside, did the sign of the cross and just came back inside. I don't know what it was, but it was literally in the middle of the road, and there's a light pole and everything. I just don't know what it was.
Well, they're up to something, and they're not telling us exactly what it is. But also, I'm going to tell you, the new wing that they're building at the White House, I know that they're putting a lot of national security crap down there, but I also think that they are building a data center underground under the White House. And I think that's what's taking so long and why it's so big. Because, of course, on top of that, they have stuff like a hospital down there. They have, storage down there, food to last probably 30 years. They have all that down there. So that's what they're putting in there. And like I said, I think they're going to stick a data center down there underneath the White House too. So I don't, I haven't quite figured out what it is, but I have sneaky suspicions that it's not good. And it's going to pull a lot of power on our power grids bad, which is going to cause rolling blackouts. It's going to California does it.
Well, it needs to be, it'd be interesting to get a contractor, to go underground, to go infiltrate and find out, what the components are in there, if there is, hatchways or, if you've seen all those videos about Walmart too, about under Walmart,
Yes.
different stuff like that. But it remains to be seen, like, it's how many are these things are like all over the place, and
Music, Abe.
There's music on.
Truly grateful.
There you go. Yeah, I've seen that where they're talking about that. It ain't grateful. Shut up.
yeah.
But yeah, they're up to something.
And this is all, you can tell this is all government contractors, people. I mean, I've seen, I've been involved with this kind of, observation on, conferences and, these sorts of things with state, state run government, kinds of things. And I can tell just by this video, propaganda video, right? I mean, it's like you see, emergency management in there, you see contractors, you see, people that are paid off, bribes.
Oh yeah, everybody's got a smile on their face.
Giving, pencils. Oh, here's a cat for you. I mean, I can see it all. I mean, this, it's pretty blatant, but you see the magnitude of these pictures, which I'm seeing, and I just know very little. But again, it's like, keeping people employed, keeping, their pride. The Bible talks about pride, and these people are nothing. They have no spiritual. They have, you tell them about Jesus Christ and they'll look at you like a deer in the headlights. I mean, they have no clue, nothing about spiritual warfare, nothing about Abe's channel, or anything else. They are so clueless, all these people. I'm probably 95% sure that these people are just totally clueless. They not woke up at all.
A lot of the ones that they've got in there that are talking, I'm pretty sure they got slipped an envelope with a, maybe a grand.
That's the mayor of Temple right there, the bald-headed dude that was talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, all these people, and, they can't say anything because they'll lose their job or get demoted or whatever else. These people are making, to pay for their mortgage and, and all
you can't have somebody try to infiltrate something like that because nobody would ever see them again. So.
Yeah. So, what I'm seeing on this video, which is, I hate to be cynical about the video, but I can see like, what happened to, child trafficking, what happened to, all this stuff, right? What's going on. And here you're seeing all this going on, it's kind of it's a parallel world that we live in. Like you either spiritually woke up and you're, Jesus Christ is leading you with the Holy Spirit, or you're in cahoots with this stuff here.
Yep.
That you're oblivious to, when the Lord's day comes, some may not make it,
Oh, there'll be a lot that won't make it.
There's a lot of people on the fence too, Jesus calls, they're lukewarm about it. And, but it's hard to walk away from your job and, do all this stuff. At least I did that just with my college education. I walked away from it because I knew it wasn't for me. But when I look back, not just to use this as a confirmation that God had other plans for me. And as I look back on, like, thank God, that I did get called out of that academia system, because I felt in my heart it wasn't, because I think I was already knew that I was kind of a child of God, but I didn't know it at the time. But like God had a plan for me, and when you look back, when you trace God's fingertips, fingerprints on your past history and see what went on, then you believe.
Right.
Yes.
Now
100%.
I'm going to tell you something that I've never let out before. I got angry a little bit with the Father one time. Abe, you know what I used to do.
Yes.
Do you remember hearing about the officer that got shot at the subway on 440 a few years back? A couple of years back?
I think so.
I was supposed to take over for him that night, and I ended up in the hospital because my leg just failed me on my way to work. Now, had I had gone there that night, and this kills me because Teddy was my friend, and he was getting older, and he just couldn't work there anymore. So everybody was like, well, Brenda, it would have been you and not him. And you know what? I'm sorry. He used to take care of his mother. She needed him. I would have rather it have been me than him. I really would have. So then with everything that I've gone through, as many times as I've died, I am here for a reason and I don't know why. I should have been gone 10 times over. And I don't know why. So I am hoping that one day I will find out why. Because I've lost so many people that I cared about. But I'm still here. And I was involved and I was there. And I'm still here and they are not. And that hurts me so bad. But I learned that I had to trust in God. And I had to trust in Jesus. And I'm still trusting. Eventually I'll figure it out, right?
Yeah. I think we're all beacons of light, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, people say that, you know, we're light beings or, you know, whatever terminology you want to give us. But we're even here on this show, as well as the people online that are listening to us. We're here for a purpose. Abe's got a purpose for this channel. And like I said over and over again, I would have never come to this channel, you know, unless something happened on another channel that I listened to this man, Abe, and it said, this man is different than anybody that I've heard for 350 interviews or whatever the number of interviews. And many years that I listened, I remember that person on there. And time went on and on and on and on after that. But I still remembered, like God nudged me, just remember that person. Just remember that person, you know, and I kept it in my head, you know, until Josh Turner,
I know what it is.
Went to his channel and, you know, see how God links this together? Yeah. I mean, God knits this tapestry together so magnificently.
Abe, when I used to work, I was quite a mean little person, huh?
Well, there was this big old black security guy, and you were there with him.
That was my partner.
Your partner, and it's like, don't be afraid of me. You need to be afraid of her.
So I think that I know. So
he pointed at you, so that's the one you got to look out for. She's the mean one.
And you know what? I saved that man's life one night at the 195 clubs, and I would do it all over again, even though I had to take a life. His back was turned, and somebody tried to draw a gun on him just as I come walking up.
And you know what? That was about the only time that I went there was that time. You know, I got invited. I wouldn't even go out. I was more like a billets rat. You know, I just go there on base. I went out that day, and some friend, let's go to see the lights. You know, whatever. And
of
the
course,
guy tried to jump me in there. Then he's like, I guess he stopped the guys, you know, for anything from happening. And I said, you gotta watch out for her. And they had like a little truck there, like a taco truck or something.
Yep.
Some kind of truck.
Yep.
They will sell burgers or something.
Tell him, Rebel.
Settle down.
See, all right. But
yeah, is that he hears Rocky barking outside?
Oh, okay. But you know, I was thinking that maybe because that happened up there at 440. After what the heck is going on here? After all of that stuff, and I thought maybe God gave me that to kind of calm me down, to slow me down. I still had my legs then. And maybe he just said, hey, look, you can't be working 2 and 3 jobs. You can't be doing this. Something's going to happen to you. And like I said, I was on my way to 440. And I had to stop because I couldn't feel my leg. And I called the company. I said, hey, tell Petty, hang on, I'm going to try to get out of my car, walk it off, and see if I can't fix this. And then the next morning, I woke up in the hospital, and my partner, Bert, sent me a thing on Facebook. And I seen it roped off, and the only car that was in that parking lot was Petty's. And I said, Bert, tell me no. Tell me that's not true. Tell me he's okay. And he said, Brenda, he took his vest off 10 minutes before the guy walked in and shot him. I could not figure.
So he got targeted.
But it was me that was always there, not him. It was me that used to work that. Every Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, Brenda. You know, but
I've been-
you know, there is a reason. There is a reason
I
for
know.
this, and
I
you
know.
know, you have to keep the faith that whatever happens to all of us, you know, to
Yeah.
all of us, that you know, things happen, you know, for a reason, and God is the, you know, He's the creator of us,
Yeah.
and you know, He's the decision maker for all of us, you know, and
Yeah.
everything we do, whether we like it or not.
I know. I
And I'm
know.
going through stuff like, oh my gosh. And I'm kind of glad. I mean, I'm being tortured right now, but I'm kind of like, I'm glad I'm learning because it's a trial,
Yeah.
you know,
it
that
is.
I'm going through right now. And I
It is.
know that, you know,
It
You
was
know,
that area, Sister Brenda, where all the clubs were.
Do what?
It was that area where it
No.
happened. This area that you're talking about.
440. Okay, you know how you're coming off of what is called 14 now, in like where you pass in Willow Springs and all that.
Yeah.
There was a Subway that sat right there in the corner.
Oh, I remember the subway.
Right across. Yeah, right there. That happened there.
Yeah, there was always a lot of activity there.
It was a bad place. Now, as long as I was working it, I really never had any problems. They would come in there and I'd be like, stop it. And they would just, you know, never had any problems with anybody in there. I kept it pretty much under control. You know, they never caught that guy. They never caught him. But they did say that they think because there was bullet holes all in the glass, all because he went around the corner and Petty was standing on the other side. And they said that they had a guy that had been shot from Colleen and they had him in Waco. And I found out this and I said, I'm going to Waco. And they were like, no, you're not. You stay here. No, I'm going to Waco. No, you're not. So Petty had a really bad habit of taking his vest off before he got off work, and he was fixing to be out of there. And he used to yell at me because we would be out in the field in the summertime. We would be out doing something, and I would get out of it. And I always wore a shirt underneath my vest in case I had to get my vest off. And I'm over here, and I'm stripping. I'm getting that doggone vest off because I was burning up hot. He said, young lady, you put that right back on. You are fixing to go over there and go watch the taco truck, the Tejano Club's getting out. You know they go over there by the hundreds. Put that vest back on. So I used to tell him, don't take yours off either. Don't do it. So he did. He did. But I think, and I've come, I really have. It may not seem like it because that's the first time I've talked about this, and it's happened years ago. And I've come to terms with what happened. And I remember when it's your time, it's your time. There's nothing anybody can do to stop that.
So they
So,
never got a description, or the cameras ever caught how the person looked?
oh, the camera showed, it didn't show his face. Um, it was a black kid, tall, probably about 5'11", maybe. Um, Thin. His clothing that he was wearing, you could see on the tape, but you couldn't see anything else. Could not see anything else. Because I got to watch the tape. And then Burke took me, after they cleared everything out, Burke took me over there. And I walked into that subway and threw up on the floor. I seen all the bullet holes everywhere, in the wall, in the glass, everything. I don't know how the poor kid that was behind the counter survived. He had to have hit the floor because it was everywhere. And I did. Burke took me in there, held my hand. He also took me to his funeral. And everybody was in uniform but me. Petty's mom did not want me to be in uniform. So I didn't go in uniform. I sat up front with her. And afterwards, everybody was taking pictures. And of course, they were trying to cheer me up. Burke would come over and lift me up with one hand and throw me down on the floor. I'm like, we're outside in the ground at a doggone cemetery. What are you doing? But it was definitely an eye-opening experience. And the bad thing about it is I started being more careful after that. And that might have gotten me in a little bit of trouble. That might have caused hesitation. And we know what hesitation does when you're faced with the enemy, Abe. So this whole losing my lay thing was God saying, woman, it is time for you to sit down and pick something else to do. So, yeah. That's what it was. So he's leading me in another direction now. And it feels really good. It feels right. So I'm going to see where it goes. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that about that incident right there on Subway. There was many. I lost a cousin. You know, the location over there by those clubs. It was pretty bad, hot and heavy over there. You know.
Oh, those clubs were, Abe.
Drug affiliated, big time. Oz was drug affiliated.
Yeah.
I mean, the owner.
Remember when they had the two strip joints side by side, the Bunny Club and then Kids? Okay, when I was working the door at the Bunny Club, Faye comes outside and says, baby, I need you to go next door and go get me a case of Budweiser. I said, all right. So I walked over. I said, Frankie, Faye needs, now I know who these people are. They were Syrian mafia. I know that. So I told him, I said, hey, I need to go get a case of Budweiser for the club next door. Frankie goes, go ahead, baby, in the cooler. You know where it's at. So I'm looking and they're stacked too high for me. And I'm like, how am I going to get these? I look over and there's a barrel and there's one on top of it. So I take the barrel off. Abe, kilos and kilos and kilos filled the barrel. I put that bitch back down and I went and got one of the bouncers. I said, I need you to get me that up there. I see nothing. I know nothing.
Yeah.
Period.
I knew that the dude was, I seen him with the stuff, the one that ran the Oz. You had the Jerry Crow hair or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah. So that's why I noticed in that it was a bigger picture. It was, what do you call a location where it's used to launder money, like a laundering?
Yeah.
That's what it was, you know.
Yeah, it's called a
Mm.
front. Is that what it's called?
A
A front?
A front,
Yeah.
yeah, a front.
Now it was Dollhouse, the 2 strip joints in front, the hip hop club
Bunny
at the
Club.
end of the
Yeah.
strip after the Bunny Club. It was at the end of that strip.
It was City Lights. I think it was
Yeah.
called City Lights.
And then Starlight Station, the big country club.
The one behind there was Oz, or before that it was called something else.
Yeah.
And then there was a strip joint that they built further down.
Yeah, that was the totally nude joint, Stars.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was all drug affiliated, man. And some of those people that were affiliated with those people was the ones that took out my cousin.
Yeah.
They killed my cousin and his friend.
They were bad people. You didn't cross them, and I worked for that man in 2 different ways.
They always
Because
carried
that-
the little white towels on their shoulders.
Yeah.
That symbolizes that they got
Before I started doing anything else, I got a job working for that man that owned the Bunny Club in Starlight, and I used to manage his cab company for him. And that man was something else. Yeah, they were not good people. That's why I got away from him and started doing what I was doing. I was just like, I can't deal with this anymore. It goes against every moral that I have. Everyone. One night I was sitting at the door and it was closing time. And there was a bunch of rich guys in there. And I had 3 little girls in there. 3 of them. They told me to go ahead and leave and lock the door behind me. And one of the girls had come out and said, Brenda, don't leave me here. And I went and told Faye, I can't leave. He goes, why? I said, because I got to give her a ride home. We'll give her a ride home. No, because my stuff's at her house and we need to go get it. He said, well, then go sit in the lobby. We'll, and I was like, oh, this guy. That poor girl came out of there. I stuck her in my car and she went home bawling all the way home. And I couldn't. I just couldn't. It was horrid. So, yeah, that was the little mafia.
Yeah, they were everywhere.
Around.
Yeah. Different mobs. They're all a lot of fronts like that all throughout Killeen, Harker Heights.
And I'll tell you what, when our company turned around and would have my partner in their lobby to do pat downs, I would agree. He would actually call me to ask me to work out there with Burke. And so I would. And then I was in uniform one night and I was coming back from Waco and they were still open and I was told to stop by there. So I did. And I walked into the club. I needed to use the bathroom. So I walked into the club and Faye calls me over and he said, I need you to do me a favor. I said, what? He said, I need you to go into the girls' dressing room. I need you to strip the girl down in there, check her, and check her locker. I'm like, what am I looking for? He said, when you find it, you'll know. Okay. so I did. And I did find it. She had stolen $1,000 in $100 bills and stuck them in her hoo-hee.
Ooh.
And I found them. And she was fired. She was lucky he let her get dressed. So, and he used to tell me all the time, if you're in uniform, I don't want you working here because these people can hurt you. I said, shut up, I'll hurt you. Because he was way shorter than me, and I am 5 foot nothing. So, but yeah, he was not good. When he passed away, he went into the hospital, and a few people got a hold of me and told me he was in there, and then he was going into a nursing home because he had a tumor on his brain. And everybody that went in there, I wouldn't go see him. And everybody that went in there to go see him said that the only thing he was worried about was somebody breaking into his house. He didn't care who came to see him. He didn't care about anything. Didn't want anybody to break into his house. That was the only thing he cared about.
Well, what did he have in his house? Is the thing. We already know why.
Probably a whole lot of money.
Money and other things, and the people that knew that he was in the hospital, there's probably the people that work for him, basically.
Yes,
The
yes.
little thugs
Family.
that would sell the drugs for him.
His family.
Yeah.
All the rest of his family. I mean, it was horrible. But I got pulled away from all of that. The only problem with it is I miss having a regular job where I can leave the house and drive to work and, spend my hours there and leave. I miss that a lot. A lot. That's why I constantly got to try to find things to do, because sometimes it drives me insane. But then there's other times that I'm nice and content just sitting here away from crazy people. Can't make up my mind. But I get those stretches where I get bored. And when that used to happen before, it was when my daughter lived in town, and we would just take off and go on a road trip. We'd come back and I was fine. Then I wouldn't want to leave the house for months. But I don't know, Abe. It was a fun ride while I had it. It was a very fun ride while I had it.
Just if you don't pay attention, I run into other things besides even people. I mean, I knew, me going to clubs, one of those kind of people that I pay attention to detail, so I know what's up,
Yes.
and I know I'm on my own business, I don't get involved in things that doesn't pertain to me. So I knew which were the clubs that, where there was things happening that nature. It'll take a genius to figure it out, and I'm one of those
Right.
people that, where I come from, that's what I grew up around all that, so
Right.
I know what's up. The one that I ran into that hit me back in 2013 was this guy that came to me. I was at the Goodwill in Harker Heights in the back when they opened up the gates. They would sell a lot of stuff cheap. It was like around 2013 or 12. And I'm over there checking it out, and then this guy that comes up to me because he sees me with a veteran cap. And he's talking to me in Spanish, and he tells me that he's got a nephew
Nice,
that's
Jesse.
in the military, that one of his NCOs is giving him a hard time. What should he do? And I was giving him advice, and I just told him, well, sometimes people need to be taught a lesson, he is government property, so you want nothing to come at you. But I would suggest, your nephew needs to man up, and handle business,
Yeah.
because if he's messing with him all the time, then not to hurt him, but just to give him a scare, to let him know, hey, enough is enough. Change your
Yep.
ways or whatever. So I guess they handle the business or whatever. Something that happened to the person that was messing with him, and then he came to me, like, maybe when I seen him again, he was like with a lot of people. He was like with him and like 5 or 6 other people with him, and they're right there with him. And he came and told me thank you for giving him the advice that I gave him. And then he looked at me and he said, you might never know who you're talking with. And then he said a name of a certain syndicate, or a certain how should I say? It was a certain name that he said. I'm not going to say the name,
Right.
but he was dealing with one of the cartels from the borders.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he came in and thanked me, and he just told me, you just will never know who you're talking to. And when that happened, it's like, well, gotta be more,
yeah.
aware of my surroundings. I was at the flea market one day. I had this, how I got a scorpion here.
Yeah.
There was this guy that looked at the scorpion and is like, hey, are you from so and so? He told me a name of a location in Mexico. I said no. Then he said, well, why you got that? That's what he told me in Spanish. I said, have you ever seen the movie? You know who Dolph Lundgren is? And I told him the one with Rocky, the Russian.
Right.
And he said, yeah. I said, well, he made a movie called The Red Scorpion, and he had a tattoo of a red scorpion on his shoulder.
Yep.
And so that's why I got the tattoo because of that movie. And he's like, oh, easy, yo me acuerdo, yo me acuerdo. But the reason he was telling me is because, he knew, it's one of the things that this cartels and along the borders are their rivalries. So if they thought I was from part of those people, then they have the green light to do anything because that's their enemy or whatever. But when I told him that, he's like, oh, he said, no, yo no soy de ahí. Then I told him where I was originally from, and then I said the name of the front from the border, which is called Matamoros, right? So he said, oh, and he looked at me and he said, Mata ta 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 oros, which mata means kill.
Yep.
And when you shoot a gun, like ta 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 ta
Yep.
ta, mata moros. That's why it's called Matamoros. A lot of killing over there, where I come from, and the front's there. So it's one of the things. That's one of the reasons I don't go across the border too much because they're everywhere. You don't know with all this open borders being open, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
They're
Well, I
whether
think that
it's things from Mexico or freaking or Muslims pretending to be Mexicans. They've already infiltrated the United States. They are in the United States.
I think that
You don't see Trump trying to do anything to break down those things of the Muslims that are got their little acres of land and training militia in there. You don't hear
well,
nothing about those
I
people getting
know
busted.
I know that they're trying to get the governors and the mayors of cities and states to try to handle that and take care of it. And our governor is trying. They're stopping mosques. They're doing this. They're doing that. But it's not enough. And like I said, with the same thing that they've done with the AI data centers, we have got to push back on them. We have to. They're going to get away with it. But I think my little Syrian friends, I think they were mixed up in with the cartel. I
Yeah,
think that's where all that was going back and forth. And that club across from Elms Grove, we know what one we're talking about. It was so sad because to clear the parking lot, we would all gear up with shotguns and we would have them driving by us going, how you know I'm from Dallas, man? How you know I ain't got a gun in here? And it's like, well, you obviously see I have a bigger one in my hand. Just go home. Just get out. But it
yeah.
was bad.
That
That's
was a
why we
big,
had to clear it.
a lot of things happening there in those clubs. They made it into a comedy club, but there's still things
And
happening
people
there.
were still getting killed in that parking lot and
Yeah,
inside the club. Yeah.
ever since I remember. I mean, I live by the park, so I hear the bullets
Yep.
where
Yep.
there'll be gunshots and all kinds of things happening at nighttime.
Yep. That's the way we did it. But I mean, we didn't have a choice. And it's like these people would be fine when they showed up. We're patting them down. We're making sure they ain't got nothing. But we're not allowed to go look through their cars. And that's usually where they kept everything. There was one day I had walked across to that Mickey's to go get something to drink. And then when I came back across, I was trying to open my can and I bumped into this guy's cart because I wasn't watching where I was going. And I look, and in the passenger seat, sitting in plain sight, there was a gun sitting there. And I was like, oh. So I got on the radio and I called everybody and they came over and they're like, huh. So we walked away from the car. We sent some of the people back over there to go do their job. Club's emptying out and we're like 3 cars away. We're waiting for this guy to come back and we're all just standing there talking like we're just bullshit. We don't care what's going on. And finally the guy comes to the car. Well, before he could get the car open, we had to stop him. And come to find out, it was a stolen gun. The guy had warrants from here to Timbuktu. A little gangbanger. And He said that he deliberately brought that gun with him because he was going to drive through the parking lot and shoot everybody standing out front.
Wow.
Yeah, just didn't care.
How you doing, sis?
Beatrice.
We were hear the gunshots all the time. We hear people arguing. Get his echoes to the
Yep.
park
Yep.
because the park was like a depression, so you could hear all the activity. Where they're peeling out of the parking lot, and
Yep.
you could hear people screaming where they're fighting in the parking lot. I mean,
I
and
know.
then, as far as I can remember, even when I was on Fort Hood, there were soldiers. I think that club was banned for the soldiers to go there because there would be killings there.
Yeah, one night we had a problem, and this is why I had such a big
Wasn't
partner.
it called a club? What was it called back in the day?
Oh my God, it's been called like 8 different things.
Yeah, a lot of different club names.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember. Not Club 190, was it? It was a certain club. It's had so many different signs now.
Yeah. But you know why I had such a big partner? And it was in times like that. He would say, "Partner, I'll go high, you go low." And that's the way we shot. It was like, "Get over here." But yeah, it was that club was a mess, man. I have never. And then there was that one that was down off of Rancier, right there on the corner of Rancier and I want to say Twin Creek. Nope, not Twin Creek. In Harker Heights. There's a Mickey's that sits on the one corner, and you go straight up, and there was a club up there. And we had gone to the big clubs in Heights next to the East Center, and there was fights that broke out all over the place. Well, they were having an after party up the street, and I had detained somebody and had the Harker Heights police come because I wanted them to take him. He was too drunk. He was just too stupid. So they let him go, right? So there's an after party. Well, I left before everybody else did. I went ahead and went up to where the after party was. And I got into the parking lot and partner calls me. He says, "Where are you at?" I said, "I'm up here at the after party. I'm waiting for you guys." He said, "Stay in that damn car. Do not get out of that car. I'm telling you right now, don't get out of that car." So I'm like, okay. And all of a sudden the side door opens. There is a 20-man pile-up fight going on that just spills out into the parking lot. I was like, well, screw this shit. I said, y'all better hurry up because I'm going in. They come running up. Well, the one kid that I had detained that I wanted arrested, that they let go, he was starting it. So I go walking up there and somebody said, "Hey, man, cops behind you." He goes, "I don't give a shit." And he turned around, man. He just plowed me right in the face. I said, "Oh, no, he didn't." One of the other guys comes up behind me, and I didn't have my taser on me. I said, "Light his ass up." So they did. We got him down. We cuffed him. Now I got a lip out to here. My gum was bleeding. I bit my tongue. And we get him down. So we're trying to get his information. They have his hands behind him, and he's on his back. And I went to walk up to do something and did not realize, and I'm telling you the truth, I did not know I was standing on his poor little juniors. And he screams. And now he had just said he didn't mean to punch me. So he screams, and I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that." Stop wearing your pants so big and so low where people can't judge where your crotch is. Yeah. My boss calls the ambulance, and the ambulance is like, "You want to go to the hospital?" I said, "For a fat lip? What kind of a pussy do I look like?" I said, "Let me out of here. I'll sign the paper." Going in there. It was terrible. It stayed fat for days. It was huge. And they were like, "Okay," the court said, "we're going to make him pay you restitution." I said, "No, give him the $300 ambulance bill. He can pay that. I don't need anything else from him. He was already drunk and stupid anyways, so just make him pay that. Give him my bill." I didn't want to pay for that. I told them not to call him. Don't worry about it. It's a fat lip.
Look about it. Everywhere you went to, it didn't matter if you were at there used to be like a little restaurant right there down Fort Hood Street, going towards the clubs on the left side, where the what was the name of that? East. What was it called? The grocery place that was there that was so chicken pretty cheap. Albertson. You know the where Albertsons is down Fort Hood Street. There used
They
to
don't
be
have.
Albertsons.
They don't. The one that used to be. Yes.
They used to be
Yes.
there. Well, what's the name of the little rest? This little like a bar place that's right there. Uh, was it called Cheddar's or was this
No, it
the
wasn't
shoe
Cheddar's.
pull? You know what I'm
Wasn't-
talking about. There's
I
a
know what you're
street
talking about.
and it's right there
Shit.
on the left side.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. And I
Yeah,
actually used to work that club too, and for the life of me, I can't even remember what the name of it was.
it was like they sell
A
food and
little
drink.
food bar. Yes. Yeah.
There was
I
activity
can't
there
remember
too.
what it
Just
is.
about everywhere that I went to.
But you know what was bad? It wasn't the people that were
Crazy.
from here. It was the people that came down from Austin or the people that came down from Dallas. It wasn't really our people here. In every case, Andres.
Yes,
Well, you
hello,
know,
hi
a
everybody.
lot of those people were coming for supplies. Just put it that way. That's what they would meet up in those
Right?
locations.
Yeah,
They,
absolutely.
they were making transactions on people's property or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of them traveling to Dallas, they would come from northern to travel to here, and make transactions. You could say
Right.
drug transactions. That's what that
Yes.
was.
Yeah. And I like I said, when I found that barrel, I was like, yeah, my name's Bennett and I ain't in it. Give me the beer up there. I can't reach it. In no way. I didn't touch that. I haven't moved it. I didn't see a doggone thing. I know nothing.
That was a lot of money.
Yes, it was because it was one of those big wooden barrels, the tall wooden barrels,
Yeah.
and it was completely full. I looked. Now I looked. I was like, oh my God. What? And they can't tell me that was baby powder because I'd have called them a liar all the way across.
What year was that, Brenda?
That was in
In the 90s.
no. Actually, that was in 2004, 2005. Yeah. Yep. Do you remember when the girls from the strip joint and the one guy from Chicks who was the manager, they found them out on that dirt road and they were all three killed in the car? Do you remember hearing that? There was a club and the manager of the club was dating one of the dancers and they were taking another dancer home and they found them in the morning off on a dirt road up off of Clear Creek and found them all shot. It was 2 days after that. And the manager worked at the same club where that was.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
So it's all coming from the same place, paying people to do hits. My sister remembers.
Yeah. You remember that, Beatrice?
There's a link. You want to jump on, sis? Yeah. Well, she used to live. They used to live right by those clubs. There was
Yeah.
like
The
a
195s?
townhomes. Yeah, the ones right there by where Oz the club. If you go to where there was like a little plaza, they live right behind it. There was some townhomes there, apartments,
Oh, wow.
townhomes. They used to live right around the corner from all that.
I had them. They were going to cut me a deal to move up there so that I was closer to the clubs. But I was like, no, I couldn't live there. There was too much going on over there. Monday through Wednesday, you were safe. Thursday on, sometimes even Sunday night. It was bad. So
There's a lot of people willing and dealing, selling product.
yeah,
They got
right.
they'll be like,
And we wonder why
they'll be
those.
like
Yeah,
that.
I know, right?
They'll be like this at the club, you know,
Yes.
like
Yep.
sitting down. They're not even dancing, and then they'll be like,
Yep.
put the little
Sure
white
would.
towel on the
Sure would
shoulder.
be.
You already know what they're selling. It's common sense, you know.
No, no, Juan. I never had to beat up Abe. Anytime I see, oh, Beatrice, never mind. Beatrice, were you beating up Abe? I thought he was asking me. I was gonna say I never had to beat up Abe.
One time she stabbed me with a fork
Holy crap!
when we were growing up
But
because
she
I was
loves
messing with
you.
her.
She
She was
loves you.
pissed off, and yeah, she stuck a fork on my back. So I'm running around in the house with a fork stuck on my back. I mean, it's literally stuck on my back, and
Oh my God.
yeah, my mom got she punished both of us, even with my fork stuck on the back. I got
She punished
whooped.
you. I was gonna say she spanked you with a fork in your back.
She stuck me with a fork, stabbed me.
Dang.
And my
Man.
mom had a knife in her hand. She's like, "I told you to stop," and it slipped out of her hand because she was cooking, so we had like grease from the chicken or something that but she
Yeah.
went like that. I told you to stop. The knife flew and it hit my sister on the head, and it cut her.
Oh man.
And I think she might have a scar on her forehead.
The only
She
thing
lost some hair.
my mom used to throw those big glass ashtrays, them old big thick glass ashtrays at me and my brother. I learned how to dodge, but my brother was stupid. He would turn right into it. It was like, away. Yeah. And flip flops and high heels and fly swatters and anything else. Wooden spoons. She would break wooden spoons on us. The bad thing about me was when I was little, my hair was down to the back of my ankles and I couldn't run from my mom because if I turned to run from my mom, my hair would flip up and she'd grab that and would twist it around and yank me over. Get back over here. You ain't going nowhere.
It's just that Abe and I would always fight when we were young.
Well, sibling rivalry. I had it with mine too. My middle brother used to chase me around with knives, and then they dressed him up one year for Oompa Loompa for Halloween, and he drilled into my door with me holding it closed, and they think that's what made me afraid of little people. It traumatized me. So it's not just Oompa Loompas; it's just little people in general. Yeah. He was my middle brother was wicked, man. My mom finally got tired of hurting herself trying to spank him. She would just hold him down and punch him. And he would start laughing at her. I was like, "Oh, that is the demon in disguise right there. Flush him. Just get rid of him. Give him back where you got him." It was terrible. But I'm going to go ahead and jump off here, seeing you have got Andreas with you.
Oh, there's Andreas. I didn't even see him.
He's
There
there.
he is.
I've just been staying quiet because you guys had the conversation handled, and I didn't want to bother like interrupting the flow or whatever.
Handle, Andres. Handle. But yeah. All right, Abe. I
The rest,
will
Sister Brenda.
see you later. Thank you.
You have
God
a good
bless.
night.
God bless everybody. Have a good night. Make sure
Good
y'all
night.
hit that like button, though. Must do that. That's an important part of being here.
Yep.
All right, guys. Bye.
All right. Take care.
Good night.
Yeah, a lot of action down there. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Pretty bad. That's I grew up around all that stuff like that. Like pretty bad down being close to the borders. It's bad, man.
Yeah.
When I grew up, I would stay away from the dirt roads and all that because for creeks or whatever, because they'd be finding people dead in the little creeks in the canals. You know, people just killed, like strapped on chairs with concertina wire wrapped around them. Killed. Like certain private parts in their mouth, dead. Or when the sugarcane fields were burned, they'll find bodies after after the sugarcane stops burning. There's bodies that they were found. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. But it was all affiliated that way, you know.
Actually, the other night, Scott, you were asking about like the 3 days of darkness, and I wanted to ask you what that was about. Like you also mentioned you like read about it in some other myths or legends.
Yeah, I sent. Come to think of it, I sent Abe. Did you get that video I sent you, Abe, about
Yes.
that Chilean astronomer? And it took me a long time to find that video because I know he's Spanish, but he's a Chilean from Chile. This astronomer, and this is concerning Planet X, or he calls it Hercopulus or something. There's all kinds of names, of Planet X and so forth. But he's a mathematician, astronomer that estimated that, and then I kind of linked it together that this may be the whole thing concerning the 3 days of darkness, and but he went into Abe, I don't know, I forget his name, but it's Fridos Munoz or something like that. I sent you a link on that anyways, but you can share it to bring that up again, if you want to bring that, out. But I thought, wow, because I saw this video a long time ago, when that Planet X stuff was pretty popular, about 10 years ago. And but I thought it was pretty credible because I've seen a lot of Spanish people, investigators or stuff. They don't get tainted like a lot of these American podcasters and people in America do. I think the Spanish people are pretty trustworthy and honest on what they talk about. And for some reason, I kind of gravitate to that because it's not been polluted by America. America, it seems like there's so much disinformation and pollution that, so when this Chilean astronomer was interviewed by one of these Spanish news shows, I thought I'd send it to Abe to say, well, what do you think, Abe, about this thing? And the guy is, it's subtitled. It's all in Spanish, but it's subtitled. But he was involved with all the astrological speeds and the physics involved with this. It's actually a comet. It's like a comet planet, and it moves at 3 different speeds. But he was saying that every 13,000 years that it comes around, and he's saying something about that's how Atlantis went down, sunk and whatever. And but he made a grimace about that when it comes around. He admit, and again, this is he's using the Spanish translation to it, and the way they speak is in a kind of a different, they use more of a metaphor type language. But he mentioned like it sounds as though when you watch the video that no one is going to survive this. The devastation will be so horrendous.
There's a link there, brother Scott was talking about. I dropped it right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't know, Abe. I saw that, and when it's going to happen, or if it's going to happen, or if it's just pure, theory, hypothetical. But again, I have an inclination that Spanish people, in Mexico or foreign countries, because I even did some research about, there are books that are banned in this country that are from Spanish authors and so forth. And I was on the Art Bell show one time. I called in, and he argued vehemently, Art Bell, about no, there's no books that are banned in America. And sooner or later, as the conversation, after I got off the air, the conversation, like, people agreed that there are many things that are banned in America. So I'm just putting, a little two by two together that, this Spanish or this Chilean astronomer, may be onto something. And I have never seen any other podcaster recently, because I think he did die, but I've never seen anybody bring that into light. But I did, go on this biblical little research thing about the 3 days of darkness or whatever. And then later I thought about this astronomer person that, I sent you, Abe, the link, about this thing, that if indeed, it could be, this could be, because the Bible, it's very, it's very precise and very metaphorically written, that, as we see right now about this end time and the deception that's going on, especially with this alien, thing, this deception. It's like, they're trying to make these aliens to be the good guys, and all this stuff. And they got everybody like hoodwinked, so I don't know. I just put it out there, you put everything on the shelf, later, but it seems like, if, what this astronomer was saying, that, and you're wondering, as we spoke this at the beginning of the show or latter hours ago, Abe, that, why are these people going underground? Why are they, why are they moving goods and services into tunnels that are underground? Because they may know this is what's going to happen, that this comet planet that's got this gravitational field that, that's going to do, devastating damage. So I just, Andre, you just brought that up. So that, you might want to check that out. I don't know. Did you send a link to him, Abe, or?
The link for that man, yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anybody wants to check it out?
I haven't seen it. I mean, I'm not looking really at the chat.
I posted it on here, but I didn't post it on.
Okay. So, but I think I've watched it several times, and I zoomed in on because I took a lot of mathematics and astronomy and physical sciences and stuff like that. So, I mean, I still have a pretty good background on, and studying a lot of this stuff about. I mean, there was even a Velikovsky from Russia mentioned about, planetary objects. The Russian, one of the Russian writers talking about the same thing. I think he wrote a book called When Worlds Collide, I think. But there's a lot of information, and I mean, I like kind of researching and looking at all this stuff, but there may be a correlation between the Bible and what this guy is saying. That's all I'm saying. It's kind of interesting, So, but I do like the Spanish. Again, I have to repeat myself about this, but that, Spanish, UFO researchers or, this Telemundo or even the news channels or stuff like that. they, they're very open about this whole alien situation, and and because a lot of Mexico and the countries, South America and Cuba and so forth, they're very rural. So there's a lot of activity that people see, especially in where we live in America. I mean, I live in Phoenix, and you never see the sky in Phoenix. I mean, it's blue. It's not black with stars. You can't see anything with all the lighting and so forth. But
Wait, seriously? You can't see the stars in the Phoenix?
no, you really can't. You really can't. Well, I shouldn't say that in in certain areas you can, but there's a lot of ground light, a lot of lighting, that reflects up in the sky a lot. But if you go up to like Sedona or Flagstaff, you're up 5,000 feet, 4,000 feet. I mean, the Milky Way, you can almost just grab it, I mean, it's wonderful to see, once you're up at a higher elevation, to see, the stars. It's such a treat. But since I moved here, the lighting is so. I mean, I live in Phoenix in the valley, so it's a lot of lighting, and it's really hard to see, stuff like But I don't know. Just getting back to this astronomer, and this was like 2004 or 5, something. I don't know what year. It's a ways back, but it's pretty interesting that I never hear anybody else talking about this guy anywhere on any site or nothing. So
in the Bible, darkness most often represents sin, spiritual ignorance, and separation from God. It uses a powerful opposite to light, which stands for God's holiness and truth. Then it says sin and evil. Darkness describes hidden wrongdoing and immoral behavior. People do bad things are often said to walk or live in darkness because they reject God's moral rules. And you got spiritual blindness. It shows a lack of knowledge or truth about God. Those in darkness do not understand spiritual things or the way to live right. And you got divine judgment. Darkness is used as a sign of God's punishment and anger against sin, such as the plague of deep darkness over Egypt in Exodus 10, 21, 23.
Yep.
Realm of Satan. The Bible calls evil forces the power of darkness, representing the spiritual enemy that believers are rescued from. Then you got chaos and death. At the very start of creation in Genesis 1:2, darkness covered the deep, empty earth before God brought order and light. It is also linked to the grave and death.
Yep, there's a lot of scripture. I think I even on that podcast or your podcast a couple of days ago, whenever we brought that up about the 3 days of darkness, I put that scripture I think on there too. Isaiah and different stuff like that too. So, it's the Bible is 100% right. I mean, I have to say that, it's God's word. That's the thing. And only God can bring you to that conclusion, because a lot of people, you really have to be called into know, that God can reveal that to you. So it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah, they do that, Justin. The media makes it seem that way. They do it that way for the fear factor. Everything the media does is for the fear factor, or for somebody to get upset or divided. They do it intentionally. It brings ratings to them, I guess. But they're doing it because the works that they do is for somebody else, and it's not for Jesus Christ. Media is bad. They're bad at doing that.
You have no idea. Actually, if you want proof the media being real bad, you guys obviously know about the World Cup that we had that ended a while back, is that
Mhm.
I actually saw like on like a clip of a news station that was interviewing some guy, Germany if I remember correctly, and one of the main concerns he had was he was actually worried about coming to America because um, we were being shown in a very bad light, and the dude ended up crying a bit because America was actually being very nice and safe to like outside people. So I'm like, I know America gets a bad rep, but I didn't think it was that bad. Where it drives a guy to tears when he actually gets here and was treated with nothing but
Because,
hospitality.
because of social media, man, they're bad. Imagine if the news is bad here. Imagine in other countries how bad they talk about America. Very bad. It's kind of like, but that's any country, right? Any country's going to talk back about another country.
Yeah, you ain't wrong about that.
Yeah, spiritual discernment is the key. That's right,
Yep.
Justin.
Yep. Exactly. It's the Bible says, study yourself to be approved. So, I take those words like wherever I research and what I look into, and I do have kind of a Bible study that I have on Sundays, and it's kind of like, I hear comments from my friends saying like, well, you shouldn't look at this or you shouldn't look at that or whatever. And I mean, I don't want to argue with them or at all, but it's kind of like, you use discernment, of course, and, when you read about, well, even it says, the Bible says, even the elite will be deceived, so it's kind of like, I look at like the more arrows you can put in your quiver, to fight the battle, meaning that the more you research and you don't, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't write a book about, I mean, in my situation, you can't, but it's, having this, knowledge that, yes, I've been fooled before. I've been tricked. But, we learn about these things. And like Abe was mentioning, these DDN, these invisible demonic spirits that are loose, and they're looking for anyone to jump into, to devour, and so forth. And, the fallen Nephilim. I mean, if I would mention that to a friend of mine, I just don't go there, Abe, because it's kind of, the Bible says, study yourself approved, meaning like, if God is leading you to research this stuff, and, once in a while you run into people where, you chime into, and that's like your show, Abe, I can chime into it because, the theme of it is what what I'm in, I like, because you like it and you research it, and I can 100% relate to it. So, but it's something like the Bible says, study yourself approved. And if that means, keeping your mouth shut and, listening to, what they say and so forth, sometimes, don't cast your pearls before swine, right? So it's kind of like, you're not going to bring up, fallen angel DDNs, to somebody that's a biblical Hebrew, knowledgeable person too, so you have to be careful, and that's how I look at stuff, Dave, I mean, this is,
I mean, when it comes to that, they're Muslims or whatever. I mean, I was bringing the fact of the battle of Medina Ridge. I prayed to the Heavenly Father for protection. They prayed to their Allah. I'm still here talking about it. So what's real? Where was Allah for them? Right. The only thing I seen out there was the jinn or the jinn. The flying around, the black, and it was jumping from soldier to soldier, possessing them and making them drop their white flags. And they all got killed because they were shooting at us, right? Or at the other tanks. So the unclean spirits were jumping from person to person. It'll be hard to try to awaken somebody that's being bonded by the jinn or the djinn over there, which I've seen a lot of that, the djinn going from person to person, just like I've seen it out there. I've seen people here in the United States that are bonded by, to me, I call them the DDN. They're everywhere. They're not just over there. They're not just over here. They're all around the world. I believe when the watchers, they said there was how many, 200 of them that came that fell.
Well, they say one third
with the Legion,
of the angels,
the
one third.
But then the watchers came, right? Also, the watchers, and I think they're talking about 200 or something like that.
I don't know the number, Abe, but it's
Something like that. There's craters on Earth where there's supposedly like the numbers or something like that of something like that happening. Where they landed, or craters on Earth. Where
I haven't heard that one, but I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, I was looking into what they were talking about.
Yeah, Brandon mentioned a few times.
But I've seen them spiritually. I've seen
Right.
the things that I witnessed when I was a kid, 3 years old. The thing I witnessed that attacked my grandfather. The things that I witnessed that attacked my friend when I was in school, like at pre-K, and all these other people that have seen this unclean spirit. They're unclean spirits, right? That's what I will call them. Jumping from person to person, that make them act different. Then I would call them unclean spirits too when I was out there in the desert. But I know that they have the djinn or the jinn. They're all the same. They come from the same source. It's just dealing with evil. That's when we talk about the goo. What's gooey? That's black and gooey? Oil, right? How many people have died for the oil throughout the centuries, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't there been a war started for oil?
Yeah.
And if something is black and gooey, it would be oil. But the unclean spirits, if there would be a place where this DDN could blend in, it would be in oil.
Right. I mean, that is very scary, Abe.
I'm just being honest. So
that is very scary that you bring that up.
you have the oil that's in the fuel, and it's in the oil for your vehicle or whatever, oil in the lawnmower, oil on the tractors, because they need oil to operate everything. And if it's the DDN infiltrating in the oil, then there will be explaining, make sense of all the accidents that happen with vehicles and things of the nature, because the DDN is infiltrating basically within all over the world.
Yeah.
Because oil is power, right? How many of these nuclear sites, they need oil for it to be functional or whatever? So the enemy is already set in place. It's infiltrating the whole world. It's infiltrating it. And another thing besides oil that's black also will be coal, right? Black coal. So the enemy can infiltrate. If the government is giving them a way to infiltrate, well, that would be the way to infiltrate not just the people, but society itself, because that's what we depend on, right? If there's no oil, there's no gas, then there's no vehicles to be able to run or anything like that. But the goo.
Yeah, and another thing, Abe, is you guys talk about witches and these seances and different stuff like that. What they use black candles, right?
Yeah.
They use black candles or red candles. All this
black, red, purple. Just different.
And getting back to this 3 days of darkness, another thought came to my mind, and this is, again, you can put this on on the show. But this woman had talked about, she's one of these ladies that she's an older woman on a podcast mentioning this 3 days of darkness. And so I actually went back in the archives, and she had said, she recently brought this up again, which spurred me onto this whole thing I was thinking of, researching it. But then I went back on her playlist, and she had said something about this like 8 years ago, the same thing. And I'm going like, oh, why is she bringing the same subject matter? Like she took that video and brought it, up to date.
I'll be right back. Let me get some more H2O.
So she was mentioning 3 days of darkness, like cover all your windows, but use white candles, white, using white oil lamps and white candles. I mean, I'm just, saying, why a white candle? Why, because white represents purity, in the kingdom of God anyways. So, but anyways, that's a little additive to this 3 days of darkness thing that, why would she bring this up again? I think a lot of people, are talking about, not only the end times, but, they're seeing these things that are escalating that are very, very relating to the Bible about, like Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, look at, that's happening today. That's exactly happening today. Sodom and Gomorrah, you see the gay pride flags that are hung in front of churches. And I saw that 5-6 years ago in front of churches. And the preachers and all this kind of stuff that, all that. So, this whole end time prophecy regarding, what is going to happen in the future is happening now. You can see, the rumors of wars and everything, and, what they talk about in Revelation and in Isaiah and in Daniel and so forth in the prophecies. But yeah, Abe, this lady was saying using white candles during the 3 days of darkness. I mean, again, put everything on the shelf, but she was saying something about you do not want to go outside when this happens. And because, of the, I guess, regarding what she was saying, and as something else I read on two things that, it's a very spiritual, there's going to be a lot of demonic activity during that time.
I got a question for you, Brother Scott. How do you think that's going to happen, the 3 days of darkness? Do you think there's going to be some kind of alignment?
Well, here's the link, Abe, is what I just told you about that
I'm
astronomy.
saying, for it to happen, we've seen eclipse before, right?
Yeah.
Where the planets line up.
Right.
So there's going to be some kind of alignment of something, right?
Yep.
That is going to stay in place. Now, is the world going to stop moving, where they just sit there and the alignment is there, and it's going to be like an eclipse, and the eclipse is just going to remain there? Or
yeah, well, they also say the sun will turn. I mean, this is according to Revelation. The sun will turn, red. The sun will be blocked or whatever. Abe, your guess is as good as mine. I'm just, I is you had mentioned this. Make sure you're with your family, and that's what counts. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing that what you stressed on your show. And
remember, brothers and sisters, the DDN, that is somebody demonic Nephilim that can mimic voices, that can pretend to be somebody because to lure you into the darkness, can pretend to be your family members, your pets. So be careful.
Yeah.
Stay spiritual ready at all times.
Yeah, it's just, being spiritual ready and no fear, Abe, just like you've been teaching us. No fear, because that fear is going to enter. And I've been actually going through this trial that I've been doing, that I've been praying against that fear, and I can feel it. You know, I can feel that type of blackness, you know, and I rebuked it. You know, I'm going like, remember what Abe said, tie, bind, and rebuke in the name of, you know, and I'm doing that, Abe, you know, and it works. It works. And because that's why I said halfway through the show, you know, that I accept what's going on, that this is God's, you know, way of dealing with things, and it's in God's hands, and there's nothing I can do about it, but, you know, let God
utilize
you know?
utilize what he set in place.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the Heavenly Love Foundation,
Yep.
spiritual gift discernment,
Exactly. And
working through the name of Jesus Christ. We utilize what he has taught us, and so we're going to overcome anything that comes our way spiritually.
Yeah.
It's through him.
Yeah. So again, I just thought I'd maybe bring up a correlation between this astronomer and the Earth being black, you know, of this thing coming around and, you know, putting a, you know, magnetic blanket of dust or whatever, you know, whatever happens, you know, of that happening, and you know, whatever else happens to it. But, you know, as long as we believe in Jesus Christ and, you know, the Heavenly Foundation, Abe, you know, that's all it counts, you know, in the long run, you know, you know, hopefully we're going to be teachers, you know, to be able to teach to other people, you know, so they don't freak out over all this, you know, that, you know, we've become kind of
They have to make the foundation strong.
Yeah.
With the Heavenly Love Foundation, and of course, having a relationship with the Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, and he will guide them
right
accordingly. You know, you're going to have that, the connection with them.
Yeah.
You know, and
you
the
know,
blessing and the insight that it gives you is for you to overcome whatever whatever obstacle come your way. You're going to be able to overcome them.
And I think also, Abe, that he'll give us words to speak, not our own words, but, you know, words of the heavenly realm, you know, to speak, you know, not under our own accord, but give us, you know, that kind of wisdom.
We're children of the light. We're all children of the light. So it's going to be, it's within us. It's hidden, but it's within us.
Yeah.
We're all children of the light. So it's within us. We just need to awaken spiritually. You got this fake woke movements, because they're talking about something completely different than the spiritual awakeness, the awakening spiritualists, compared to the woke movements that they have here in this world. You know, because they want to do their own thing, right? That's against the Heavenly Father.
Right.
And you got spiritual awakening, you know, and that's what it is that I'm trying to do here on Spiritual and DDN Encounters, is awaken my brothers and sisters spiritually, to let them know about their self-worth, of who they are, and to awaken, not to be caught up with all these things, that this different agendas that are being placed to lure the wrong way.
And they're hitting us like
that's
crazy.
That thing. You're right, Sister Cynthia. Not everybody will go to God. You're right. You see it happening. You know, people that are confused. You see it, but that's what the DDN does. It causes confusion, division, and then it bonds those individuals.
Yeah, it's a sad thing, Abe. You know, I don't see. I really, to be honest with you, I don't see a tremendous church revival. I don't see, you know, I mean, I've been looking at this stuff for, let's just say, as far as, you know, church-related issues, nothing has happened since, like, you know, any change in the church, anything in 10 years, any kind of change, you know, as far as a revival or something, changing the whole concept of the world, intellectually. I didn't see anything, even today, even up to today, and I don't think I ever will. Through whether denominational churches, non-denominational churches, whatnot. I don't see any of that changing at
It
all.
says in the Bible that in the latter years, people are going to be able to do the same thing as the apostles. And of course, it has to be done through faith and belief in Jesus Christ with the heavenly love foundation, because people are going to be blessed and anointed to be able to do certain things. But even like that, people are still going to fall astray because they've chosen what path they want to be on or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, look when Moses opened up the Red Sea, and people still went astray.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, here's a funny thing, Abe. I had a thought the other day. I said, well, what movie do I want to watch? I like science fiction movies and stuff, and so you guys recall that movie, the Day the Earth Stood Still? Do you guys remember that? Okay, here's a Abe. I had to watch this again because I maybe watch it. This is maybe my third time over all these years, right? So I said, I'm going to watch this again. And somebody had made a comment, which makes me watch it again, because I'm going like, well, I want to see if there's a correlation in what this person was saying. And what's interesting about this movie, he almost portrays that this movie is based upon Jesus Christ, of all things, of this person coming, in this spacecraft kind of thing, and saying like, if you guys don't repent, I'm going to burn this planet, to a crisp or whatever. But anyways, I mean, that's kind of in a nutshell what I'm saying. But the guy had mentioned something about this movie does parallel the life and times of like Jesus Christ, into the teaching, and, it was whatever, but you can it's like a parallel, a parody or I don't know what the word is, but it kind of goes along the lines of, of how Jesus Christ came, as a son of God, kind of, and so I had to watch this movie again. And I saw like, yeah, this does kind of have a little bit of that indication or paralleling a little bit of that. And there's many movies that have people have said that The Green Mile was another one. That movie, The Green Mile, somebody said that also parallels Jesus Christ, about that African-American guy that was in jail and so forth. And, there's many movies like that keep me kind of interested in seeing, like, because they are, people get, people know things that I don't know, and it's good to learn, about that. And I like watching movies that do show, a link to Jesus Christ. I like that. That's what keeps me a little interested in watching movies and I'm not a big movie goer or watcher anyways, because I don't really see that much out there that interests me at all. But anyways, that movie called The Earth, it was like 1959 or something, black and white.
Yeah, I remember it, brother.
So, my God, Abe,
What do you think, Andres, about the 3 days of darkness?
Honestly, it's like you said, it's really up to interpretation. Like when you mentioned darkness about being deceived, I'm wondering if like the 3 days of darkness could just mean like everybody's being deceived. I'm not sure if it's literal or not.
That or the go ahead. I'll let you speak.
Sure it was literal or not, just like what Scott mentioned, like there's a bunch of like movies and stuff, but I also want to go with the whole with the alien movie that came out, the Disclosed thing. And I actually saw a priest mentioning like it could be a demonic opening for people, because now they're starting to believe all this hoodwink shit. They don't. Just don't. Because one of them.
What was the name of the movie, brother? Of it had some girl in it. It was a girl, a boy. I'm thinking it was called Darkness, and it's dealing with a house, and certain things happen. I can't remember what the name
Poltergeist?
of it. Let me see if I can find it.
Is it
Go ahead,
poltergeist
Andres,
or
and share what you have to share.
Like I was saying with the whole Alien movie that they disclosed, and saying like if they got all these people like linked that aliens came here and like they created us, I call complete and utter bullshit. Because if you look at some of these encounters, you see how these people feel violated. That's not something like the heavenly that if they said they created us. Okay, I lost my train of thought here. There's one thing that these aliens have been doing. They've been trying to create hybrids. That's if it's real, depending to some people, which so to some people it is, to others it's not. Is why would you need to create hybrids to begin with? If they can just create these, if they created us, why can't they just make their own, go back on their own worlds? And if there's actually a clip I saw of a guy that they actually one of the main reasons they came to Earth was that they want to learn how we contain souls, and souls is more or less energy. How do we have that and they don't? If they're supposedly our creators, they should obviously have that and be able to make their own. Why would they need to? Why would they need an external source like us? Why would you need to do that? Because they don't have souls themselves, or what? Why? What could possibly be the reason they would need to experiment, violate, and do a whole bunch more with beings that are, in their terms of like in terms of their technology and all that, primitive? Why? You
I
got,
think, brother Andres, that the aliens are not aliens as people think they're demons. You
oh
know, and
oh
the,
I believe that that I do believe these aliens are not. They are not freaking. They're not what they seem. They're not
just
like
put them
these.
to the spiritual test, like we talk about. You know, type on the brick in the name of Jesus Christ. Just like it did the one that was pretending to be. First, he was pretending to be human. So, asked him what is his name, and he said Indiana. And then when I turned around and shook his hand, I was saying the Our Father within myself, and he started breaking his manifestation, and his skin didn't fall off like a shapeshifter skinwalker. It just started disappearing. And then he started showing me somewhat of another form that he took, which was like scales on his face, green, like what seemed to be like a reptilian, have sharp teeth. But then I didn't let him go even when he was in that form, and I kept on saying the Our Father, and he was trying to pull away, and I started. It's like trying to see its true nature, but it was afraid of me saying the Our Father, the deliverance prayer, and he pulled away from me. But by then his manifestation had already broken. Then he just looked up into the sky, smiled, and went down and turned around and walked away from me.
I won't deny that, Abe, and
And it was, I believe, what broke his manifestation was my faith and belief. It was because we can say a prayer, but you got to have faith and believe. And it was my faith and belief in that prayer was being effective because of my relationship with the Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, that it broke his true manifestation. At that time, I was in tie binding rebuking in Jesus Christ's name. It was afterwards when I started tie binding rebuking in the name of Jesus Christ because I knew that was legit. And as I went through my spiritual battles, I grew spiritually, so I know what's effective.
I gotta agree with that one. And some people in the chat are saying is that he was like, I already got that. That I understand. What I want to see is people actually looking more in depth into these encounters, and some people actually call out to the Father to help him, and he does. These demons no longer have uh, uh, any more legal by their laws to affect us anymore. And I've already
Well,
heard too.
that's what the government is doing what it's doing because they're affiliated with what are they affiliated the most that anybody knows of is the demons, with the things that they worship. That's what they're affiliated with, which would be Lucifer, right? So they want to deceive people, trying to say, oh, the aliens are coming, or aliens are here, and they're the ones that created mankind, blah blah blah. Bullcrap. They're just trying to deceive people.
yeah, I saw that trailer.
Deceive
Andrew,
people.
Yeah, Abe.
to give them some kind of power. So if the people start believing in that,
Yeah.
then those demons can attack. Right? There's a spiritual opening for them to attack. So,
Well, that's a
and
good
there's a lot
point.
of people that are gullible that way
You
in
know,
this
Abe,
world.
that is a point that I didn't realize. You made a good point on that because I agree totally, Andres. That movie, that's a bunch of BS, and aliens are demons. But Abe, that's a good point that that you brought up because and you bring these points up that if I do get in touch, if I go and talk to people, they may not know this. That's why I'm getting that information from you. That that movie opens up a portal or a way for the demonic activity to jump into somebody. So all those movie
the occult does
producers,
that also. I think the movie
those
that I was
actors.
talking about is called Darkness. Let me see. It came out like in 2002, and it's dealing with a house where a occult did some kind of ritual, and then darkness came. Right when the people moved in the house, and it was like going into a different dimension. You should check it out. It's called Darkness. Have you seen that one, Andres?
Personally, I haven't.
Abe, I almost don't like to watch this stuff anymore. Abe, I mean, I used to have a really fascination even to Dogman or Bigfoot. And since now I realize, these are fallen Nephilim. And I mean, not that I want to open up a door or whatever, but, the more knowledge.
The movie came out in 2002, man. And
Yeah.
when you're talking about darkness, I remember that when they made that movie, it's like it there is a lot of witchcraft and orphanry that's happening in this world, and portals are being open. It's in that nature. But regardless of what portals are being opening, or whatever the case is, we'll still be able to fight by tie bound and rebuking through Jesus Christ. We just got to maintain our heavenly love foundation and fight spiritually in that manner. That's where the government says what it says, saying about the rockets and space force and all this stuff, but they're not telling you. They're not trying to protect you. They're not telling you how to fight spiritually against
Right.
these things that are pretending to be aliens, reptilian, greys, or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not telling you the truth. They're just telling you enough to try to get you to believe. And you know how many people there is that they've already got them on the hook. It's many people that they're believing that they're some kind of freaking aliens.
Yeah.
All I know is
Yeah.
there were people talk about reptilian. Well, when I said it was just a deliverance prayer. It broke its manifestations. It broke 3 manifestations that it took. And I know now that for a fact that if I would type on rebuke it through the name of Jesus Christ, that it would just disappear. Just when you know that it's demonic in nature. It's not if it's not demonic nature, it's not going to flee like that.
I can see this happening, Abe, in churches where the pastor will get up there and say, well, we have to welcome our guests. I can see that, Abe. To keep all these people coming in, giving their money. I can see that happening in the future. All these churches saying, well, we have visitors from the outside and they've come to teach us new technologies that it'll be like the Jetsons, and all the baby boomers will say, oh yeah, I remember, and just hook everybody, man. Oh my God, Dave, I can see that happening 100%. I mean, I'm laughing about it, but I mean, I shouldn't laugh about it, but it's I can see that happening straight up.
Let me show the movie real quick of what I'm talking about. The people that haven't seen it, I guess the commercial of it, if I can find it. Huh. Oh, here it is. This it? I'll play the trailer for y'all. Let me share it. Let me share this for y'all. This is the movie I'm talking about. I would recommend to check it out, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I'll watch,
It'll make
I'll watch-
some sense of what I'm talking about with the dealing with what Brother Scott Baker was talking about the occult.
I'll watch it
how
tomorrow.
They can
I'm not
open
gonna watch-
portals and stuff like that. Here we go. Let me play it for y'all. Play it up.
Hello? We're watching.
Here we go.
Since when are you afraid of the dark? You can imagine what it must be like to be afraid of your own father.
I hear them whisper. They talk about us.
Hello?
We're watching you.
No one can stop it. What's wrong with you? Get your brother out of the house.
Why? It needs to be 7. We only got 6. It's gonna happen again.
Open the door!
Well, not now!
Don't you understand that's what it was?
Father's dying!
Paul, hurry!
There you go.
Oh my gosh, Abe, I'm gonna have to watch that tomorrow.
Yeah. Check out that
Oh,
movie, folks. If you've never seen it, check it out.
yeah, I don't really like watching stuff like that, Abe, to tell you the truth, but it does seem a little interesting on what you were talking, what we're talking about.
It said IMD, but you can probably look it up. It's probably on YouTube. Let me see. It's called Darkness. It's a 2002. The female character is Anna Paquin. You seen how the
Yeah.
was it the moon being covered or the sun was being
The
covered
sun,
by?
yeah, the sun was being covered by something, or they say
Yeah.
the moon turns, well, the sun turns blood or the moon turns blood red. I don't know which. I can't remember, but I'll have to look at that again. But yeah, I don't know. There's been many Earth changes, on this planet that we live on, and I believe this planet that we live on is much older than any of this bunk that I learned in college. I mean, the stuff that I've learned in college is all BS. Every single book, all this is all made up by the Rockefellers and the German educational system to keep everybody, in slavery, and that's my belief. But only Jesus Christ can really, make you research and find out, like, what, this stuff is all BS. So
There you
Not
go.
not
Check
to
it
make
out.
light of it, but
Here is Shade. She said it's on Pluto. That movie. It's kind of like that other house. How you get dark. In the living room. Yeah, I could see the dark entities standing in front of my yard and across the yard on my neighbor's yard, and I'm driving through the middle, and I see them. After I moved into this house, it's like I just would do the sign of the cross, and type banner rebuke him in the name of Jesus Christ. So there had to be some kind of spiritual opening that somebody was practicing something over there, open up some portals. There you go. What Sister Neva's angel is saying there.
Yeah, she just made a good comment because when I was working at the base, one of the Spanish girls that I knew, she was working in there, and she told me that her grandmother, we were talking about education and schools and stuff, and she told me that her grandmother, they had books back in like the 30s or the 20s that they were teaching their kids like trigonometry that were like in 3rd grade. I mean, what I'm trying to say is what they studied back in the old days was like very sophisticated education books that they had that they were teaching, their children. And I mean, you can see how now education, instead of education, it's de-education, over all these years. And because she mentioned something about her grandmother about this book, and I'm going, are you kidding me? Like that long ago, in the 20s or something, about like they were so much smarter back then, on the educational system, I'm saying. Maybe they had books that survived from, 1918 or whatever, that you guys remember, like encyclopedias. Like I remember having a set, or, you could order encyclopedias and buy, but they had one called the Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica, and it was like really thick, these encyclopedias, and they were so condensed with information. And then you had World Book Encyclopedia that came out, and they got thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner, because, we used to do our book reports or something on us using encyclopedias and stuff. But even back then, I mean, I was mind controlled even back then. But yeah, I mean, this Spanish woman, her grandmother had told me, or she had told me about her grandmother had these books. And I was fascinated by it. Like, wow, is she still alive? I'd like to talk to her about, the olden days, what they knew before they were corrupted by this system that we're in. They were corrupted. Spanish, English, it doesn't matter. We were corrupted. We were, mind controlled, during World War I, basically, and then World War II, it was over with. After that, it was over,
It's kind of like what makes sense to me is those before us, like my grandmother, great-great-grandmother, and people that I've met that, their time was on earth was fixing to finish, and they were just giving me their wisdom and knowledge, trying to guide me, and sometimes they would cry because of the things that are here on this earth and stuff like that. They won't say specifically what, but the advice that they would give me, I more understood that it was dealing with a balance between good and evil and stuff like that. And you could see that they, when they would cry, when they share a story about in this world there's good and evil, the advice that they would give me made me and then all the experiences that I've had and all the things that I've overcome spiritually made me the person that I am. I could see how now I'm getting older and I'm trying to share the wisdom and knowledge to everybody, not just to immediate family members, but to whoever wants to listen or whoever's here trying to learn something spiritually. That's what I'm here for. That's my calling, and I'm going to stick to what I'm doing.
It'd be hilarious, Abe, that you went to a 3rd grade class today, sat down and said, okay, when I was 3 years old, and you start talking a little bit about your background, you would be kicked out of that school so fast. That teacher, you'd be arrested in there. They'd call the truancy officer, and you'd be let out of there in handcuffs, and that's
because it'll go
it's too
against their
bad.
agenda.
It's too bad that these
With
kids,
the school structures,
yeah,
what they're paid to teach.
yeah. But Abe, if that wouldn't these kids would be very interested in that. That's kind of a shame that you have a podcast that, there's a lot of young kids that are in second grade, third grade. They would get, you could appeal. These kids would understand that, But I think today, the way things are, that it's very difficult to get get young people, to try to influence them on what you went through at 3 years old, of that, that age. Because I think kids at a very young age, they would say, wow, that's interesting. They would believe it. They would be very interested, in that sort of thing.
We were all once kids, and as we're innocent, we're able to see things.
Right.
Spirit.
Yeah.
And I'm more sure there's a lot of kids that are innocent.
Yep.
And they can know when somebody's being genuine and real compared to when somebody might have a negative attachment or trying to show them something wrong. They're able to see spiritually. And, it's one of those things that we have to stay prayed up, because you never know what you're going to encounter spiritually. But I wish I could talk to many other people, but for right now, my mission is to talk to the head of the households, to the main people in charge of their households, because it'll be their jobs to speak to their children with all the laws that they got. Talking to minors and stuff, winding you up in jail. So it's up to the head of the household to teach your children. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Abe, you're absolutely right. And
that's why I got this group just for adults.
Yep.
We lost somebody here. Who was trying to get on here? Is that Sister Cynthia?
That's Nevaeh.
Are you here, Sister Cynthia?
Did she just get cut out?
Well, I see her right here.
Yeah, I see her.
Let me drop a different link. Let me refresh the link and drop a different link for her. Yeah, man, there's so many crazy laws nowadays. It's like, you really do nothing anymore because it's crazy. But then you got the people in charge doing crazy ass shit. Excuse my French. Crazy stuff that's against the law, and they don't do nothing to them. Well, the pedophile rings in Hollywood and White House, crooked politicians, and you name it, just crazy, right? Yeah. But that's okay. That's why Jesus Christ is coming back and handle business. Try that one. I think I dropped a new link there for you.
Abe, I got a question for you. Has anybody in the chat or whatever, concerning the Amish or the Quakers, who really don't blend in with society, right? They're kind of their own, group of people. And has any of those people come on to talk about, the spiritual nature of things, regarding, the supernatural or DDN or the fallen angels, that sort of thing. Abe, have you heard? I haven't, but I'm just wondering if anybody has any anybody did an interview with, the spiritual church, head of the Amish church or the Quakers or something like that. I mean, what are they, what is their belief system on, the DDN, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. What is their belief, on that, that spiritual adversary, right?
They don't talk about it. A lot of, I mean, there are some that they say that they're casting out unclean spirits and tie, bound, and breaking through the name of Jesus Christ, and they do it to the members of their congregation. But are they truly casting out? It's one of those things that they want to keep you in part of the congregation, part of the church, or whatever. The work I'm doing is different. It's dealing with what's around us, and everything that I do is, of course, through Jesus Christ.
Well, that's a good point, Abe. I'm going to look more into this, but I'll give you a little story. When I was married, my ex-wife had she rented a room in it was called the Quaker House. Friends, what is it called? It's called the American Friends Service Committee, based out of Philadelphia. And they own this house in Des Moines, Iowa. It was like a Victorian type house, which had a ghost, by the way, Abe. I think I told that story. But me and as I was married, my wife at that time, we went to one of their meetings that they had. And we just sat there to listen, just to see, because, she had an office up in one of the rooms. So, because they own the house and maybe they were trying to recruit us or whatnot, but just to listen. And so they were talking, and I already knew, I knew kind of this non-denominational equation already in the churches, although I was working at a church back then too. Many churches in the past, like different jobs I had with churches. But anyways, that's being said, I digress back to this story. So I'm listening to, we sat around kind of in a circle and, listening to them, and they didn't ask really any questions, whatever. But what I noticed, Abe, you're right. I never heard, Jesus Christ, the head of the church, and, even the Catholic Church, you hear about that. The Lutherans, you hear, even denominational churches. But it was almost as though, if I can remember, it was like more of a spiritual connection, like spiritualism, I didn't hear the word mysticalism or New Age or anything like that, but it was kind of like, and that was just one meeting. That's not that I learned anything, but I felt like a disconnect there. Like even at that time, and I was not saved, by the way, even then, but I was God was bringing me along through these observing things, learning and observing, putting things up on the shelf and so forth. And but I think you're right about that. That's why I brought that up. Not that I'm bringing up this story, but it's kind of led into the story that I was mentioning. But yeah, I'm just wondering about the Amish and the Quakers and the Mennonites, whatever these religious sects, we'll just call them, that do they place Christ Jesus as the head of
The Amish
everything?
do. The Amish are very spiritual.
Well,
They pray to God, they pray to Jesus. They're very spiritual people.
Well, I don't discount that at all. But from what now this is just the Quakers, and I have no, bad feelings about any of these, groups of people, any of them. But I felt like at that time that I didn't get a feeling of Jesus Christ, mixed in with it. But I heard also that on the flip side of this, the American Friends Service Committee, which is the headquarters of the Quakers, based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, they were on the most wanted FBI list. And the reason being was they professed peace on earth. They professed peace on earth. And they had said, because they had little booklets and so forth, and I was told by them or, from somebody else there, and then I read up on it, it was true that they were on the most wanted list as the most peace political organization in the world, that organization. And by the way, that house was also bombed in the Vietnam War for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that house, it had a ghost there too, because I'm sitting there, again, unclean spirit, a DDN, but I always mentioned back then it was a ghost. But again, I seen I had a can of Coca-Cola, and that can went like, if you can mention, here's the can of Coke, and it goes like right in front of me, like that, moved across the glass table, about 3 feet by itself. And then I said, well, can you move that back? Just a challenge, but it didn't do that. But that was just a little sidebar story about that house, but it was called the Friends House. It's in Des Moines, Iowa. You can look it up. And but it's very interesting. I have not heard anything lately or never did research any much further about the Friends Service. Gosh, I can't remember. I'm losing my mind. It's getting late.
My brother Scott,
Yeah.
buy me a little violin.
Yeah.
When the trolls come, I'm going to play the violin for them.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. It's funny. I'm glad you did that. So, anyways, that's just a little story, that I thought I'd bring up some other stuff into it. But it is kind of curious to, that's what I like to learn. Like,
what's crazy about schools is like, when we went to school, we would say the Our Father.
Yeah.
And pledge allegiance.
Yep.
Right. So they took the Our Father out of the equation. I don't even know the pledge allegiance anymore.
No, they don't. They don't. They first took God out of it.
Yeah, took God out of the equation.
Then they took
and which was normal to talk about God and stuff like that in schools. It was no problem back then.
Well, I think because the Pledge of Allegiance towards the end it says one nation under God, and seeing they were taking God out of the equation, they couldn't leave that in there either.
And then you have the dollar bill that says in God we trust. The $1 bill still says that, I believe, or they took it away.
But it still says it, but what God are they talking about?
That's what I'm saying, because it's got the pyramid with one eye.
That's right.
Yeah, they're saying that God is Lucifer.
But then they allow the woke movement and the rainbow people.
Yeah.
In the school systems.
Well, there's a church that does that in Kansas. They have the pride flag hanging in the church next to the cross of Jesus. And I found out that they have drag queens that go in there and they are dressed in their nighties, teddies, or whatever it is, and they're singing the church songs. And I'm like, what? Yeah.
What they say is a drag queen story time.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
I'm gonna throw up.
They're gonna be like, there was a Peter and a Peter Wolf.
I'm telling you, there are some that are they do not look very attractive. But Scott, I'm going to tell you what, I have seen some that I could swear up and down they were actually women, and beautiful women.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful whoever you meet. All you single people out there, be very, very careful.
You see them at the clubs sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Well-
They would pick up on guys, and when they were alone going like to the bathroom, I would say, if you plan on going home with them, you better let them know who you are, because we don't want to have to find your body in some hotel room because you lied.
Yeah, I seen a guy, a Mexican guy at a bar walking with his female, and next thing you know, the female says in Spanish, "Súbete, güey, yo te dejo." You know, in a man's voice. They're like, what the It was a dude dressed with a wig on, you know, like what the
Yeah.
Let's try this again, Brenda.
Súbete, güey, te dejo.
Hi.
Hi,
Yeah,
Ruby.
like, then it said in English, "Don't let me kick your ass." It's like, oh shit.
Well, I went to San Francisco with my husband when he was delivering. He drove a big truck, and so we were out there delivering a car, and he had smashed his finger. It got stuck on the ramp thing when it came down, so we had to take him to the ER. We had to take a doggone taxi to the ER, and so we're sitting there, and you know, them people up there are crazy anyways, and he's not comfortable. And all of a sudden they call this person and they said, Sharon, and this big old guy wearing a miniskirt with his junk dangling underneath the miniskirt stands up and goes, yeah. He said, that's it. We're leaving. We're leaving. We are leaving. I was like, yeah, welcome to San Francisco.
Oh, I got a story about that too. That I think I told this once before. So, my brother had a restaurant in Santa Cruz, California. So, I came back from a stint over in Asia because my brother, actually, my dad and my brother, they both worked international, and so I was in Santa Cruz, and my friends go like, I go, well, where do you meet girls? You know, where do you meet girls? And they go like, oh, you go down to the Blue Lagoon, you know. And I'm like really gullible. I was like 20, I don't know. I was in like my early 20s, I guess. And
there.
So I walk into this bar, right? And it's like, you know, I go, where
Well, no, it's not.
Is that JFK?
No.
Oh.
Yes.
Who is that? Abraham Lincoln.
No. Let me get a closer view of it.
Okay, let's see it again.
Is that Trump?
Yeah.
There you go. I see the hair now.
I was
There you go, Trump. Stop. Look, man, I got a little statue of you, man. There you go, Trump.
Yeah, I was looking at the hair, you know, because JFK had kind of hair like that too.
It's Donald Trump, man. So all those men in black.
Cynthia, I don't know
Leave
if I have
spiritual and DDN encounters alone.
right.
Stop messing with my shit.
I don't know if I have you on Facebook or not, Cynthia, but the next time I go live, you need to let me give you a link and see if you can get on Streamlabs and see if it's not just your phone.
Can you see him there?
I see him. Is he saying, let's go blow this up? Is that what he's saying? We're gonna go blow it up. He looks a little blown up himself.
That's him right there. Look. He actually glows in the dark. I need to hit him with a UV light. He'll glow in the dark.
Right?
I bought it from his favorite people. I bought it from China. I don't know where I got it from. Somebody was telling them, I said, let me buy Trump for $5. Yes, Donald Trump, you did not go for $1,000.
And you're not made of gold. You're not made of gold.
I bought you $5, man. But there you go.
Oh, he's a
So
he's
if
a
the ICE agents ever come to my house, I'm gonna show them
right.
your little
That's
statue.
right.
I got
Donald Trump.
Leave me alone. This is gonna be my pass.
Yeah.
yeah, really. Yeah, knock on the door, Abe. I got your pass. You know, 2:00 in the morning.
I'll do it better. Look, there you go.
Oh.
Here you go, Trump. You're here with Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny. There you go. That's good. Oh, he's in a bucket.
Put you in the bucket. That's all, folks.
Right. He's in a bucket. Well,
See, I'm not a bad guy. Look, I even played music for you. My little violin.
Hey, Abe, I tried to play that fiddle. I play with a woman, you know, so I picked it up and tried. I'm going like,
wait,
no way.
Wait,
no way.
Wait, Scott. Now I want you to listen to exactly what I'm saying to you. I tried to play with that fiddle. I was with a woman, so I picked her up. You tried to play a fiddle with a woman?
Okay, yeah, you're funny. That's a good one. I'm so naive sometimes. I just fall for it, right? Well, I had a woman that played with me, you know, and she played. Okay. So I picked it up and I tried to play that, and I'm going like, this is like the weirdest, hardest thing to learn. I mean, it is crazy.
Try an accordion.
Well, no, I could do the accordion better if than the fiddle or the violin. It's that thing is like, I don't know. I
have a friend that teaches fiddle. He plays. He wanted to teach me, but I can't afford a fiddle, so.
But to be honest,
I might have to get one like Abe has. But
to be honest with you, that is my favorite. Somebody accompanying me to play when I sing. I love that over the mandolin. I do like the steel pedal guitar. You know, steel pedal guitar. What do you call it? Steel pedal? I think that's the coolest, but that's really hard to get somebody to play that. But the violin is my favorite accompaniment instrument over the banjo or, you know, over lead guitarist, electric guitar, everything. I really like the violin, but there's no way I can ever learn that. Oh my God.
Duval said, I bet you was playing the fiddle.
I could you know what? I have a lot of time on my hands these days, so I could probably play one, sit and practice. But I do have a friend that teaches, so all I'd have to do is call him up and tell him to come over and bring his violin and teach me how to play. He would do it.
I went down to a free seminar on Japanese drumming with my son, and we both. I mean, I'm pretty good at percussion. I'm pretty good, and we went down to this free seminar, and on these big drums, you know, that they're like big drums, and I forget the name of it, what it's called, but it's Japanese, you know, type of drumming, and talking about. Man, I cannot get into this. I mean, I thought I was pretty good, but there's all this, you know, it's almost like martial arts to it, you know, and I could not get that at all. And my son was like, I don't get this either, because he does like the Japanese culture, but it's kind of like we both walked out going like, we're not into this at all. It's funny.
Holy cow. The cheapest one I can find is $111. Crap. Wow. But it comes with a case, cleaning kits, extra strings. So I guess that's not bad.
Yeah.
I could definitely learn to play one of these. I could drive my neighbors crazy, like they drive me nuts.
We done hit the 3 hour and 30 minute marker.
Yeah,
Here.
I'm gonna
You
sign off.
did.
I'm gonna sign off. I gotta get something to eat. So this wolf mask. I can't.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
I can't eat. I can't drink. So thanks for the show, Abe and Brenda, and everybody.
Brother Scott.
So
good one.
I'll see you guys later. Bless you all. See ya.
Bless you too. Good night, Scott.
See
And
ya.
I just got take care, man.
See ya.
Bye, brother.
See ya, Andres. Bye. 3 days of darkness coming.
What? They've been saying that for 5
3
years.
days of darkness. Oh, all right. I'm gonna watch that movie, Abe.
You're gonna go watch that movie?
He's gonna go watch the movie Darkness.
Oh, is that what it's called? Where'd you guys
Yeah.
find it at? What's it on?
Oh, it's an old movie. It's from 2002.
I mean, it's,
Comments
But he said they'd never seen it, so I said check it out because he was talking about Darkness. I said, well, check out the movie Darkness.
oh, huh? I've never seen it either.
Since we're talking about portals, well, that's basically what it's about. Something like that.
Right?
That
Huh.
movie is called Darkness.
Now y'all got me looking at these fiddles. I mean, these violins.
Honestly, I thought you'd be knocked out by now, beyond.
No, I had to.
What is this?
I had to make a phone call and put somebody to sleep.
Is this a fiddle?
Well, actually, that looks like.
I think I can. It'll play if I put a battery in here.
Oh.
It's got a little thing for a battery back there.
Oh yeah.
Down there in the bottom.
And
I'm gonna see if I can put a battery in there. See what kind of music I can play.
It's probably like a jewelry box. It probably has one in there. You know what I mean? That would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
They'll sell those fiddles. I mean those batteries at Dollar General. See, I can buy one and replace it.
Yeah. Well, if you lived closer, I would just tell you, run next door. I have a whole thing of batteries right here in my drawer. You got to see what kind of it needs.
She's like, right here in my door by my 357. It's like, oh, shit.
No, if I know you're coming, you're safe.
Oh, man.
I had a dream last night, and I'm hoping I don't have it again tonight, because when I dream, usually when I dream, I have good dreams. But if I dream about something bad and I dream it 3 nights in a row, I'm trying to figure out something to be able to change what I know is going to happen. And that's happened to me plenty of times before. So I had a dream last night that I was laying in bed asleep. Now, I keep a 40 cal right next to the bed. I cannot put it under my pillow. It has a hair trigger and no safety. So it's inside of a holster. My 38's in my bag. It sits on my chair. My chair is nowhere near my bed. So I had a dream that I was laying in bed and I heard this thumping noise. And I went to sit up and grab my gun. And before I could get it, somebody kicked my door down and they shot me. So I don't want to have that again tonight. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't want to go to sleep. So I'm like, okay.
The cover of the movie, so y'all can know which one it is.
Yeah, I might watch
check
that.
it out after this or tomorrow.
We can do that.
Let's see, y'all remember this movie? Yes.
I don't remember it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's a crazy movie right here. That's the movie called Darkness.
I wonder if it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it should be on Netflix.
Oh, I might have to sit up tonight and watch a movie.
Yeah, after this, check it out. I'm gonna put it on and check it out one more time. I've seen it before. That's why when this brother Scott Baker was talking about the darkness and all that, this is He's talking about portals. Well, this is something dealing with something like that, dealing with portals and things like
Yeah.
that in the future of the cult, because the cult is the ones that does that kind of stuff.
Right. That sounds
So
interesting. So
yeah,
let's see.
check out. You see those? Yeah, check out this movie. It's pretty good actually. I mean, it's just one of those mind boggler. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. Just check it out. And
Well, you are sitting at 3 hours and 33 minutes. Ooh, you were in for the long haul tonight, weren't you?
let me see. Let me see if I can see if I can find it somewhere for you, and I'll tell you where it's at.
I want to think I seen that on Netflix one time when I was flipping through, but I've never seen it before, so I didn't bother to stop.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, is it?
But it says buy or rent.
Oh, well, no, I already buy Netflix. It better be on there. Let me check. See.
Let me see this other.
Dun, dun, dun. Show movies. It's like is it a horror movie or an action?
Like horror.
Okay. Oh, the first one that pops up in my face is The Exorcist. Get out of here. Oh, darkness. Let's see. Oh, darn it. I don't see it. Yeah, Dracula on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of horror movies on here.
Never's Angel will say check Prime.
Oh, yeah, I pay for Prime. I wonder, I've never used it.
It's the year's 2002 when this movie came out.
Oh,
It might be on Prime.
yeah, it could be. I'll have to. I have an account with them, so I've never used them before to watch movies. But I pay $15 a freaking month to have Prime.
Oh wow.
Well, every time I try to cancel it, I have to change my credit card if I want to cancel it. So as the month goes by, if I try to order something for like my grandson's birthday and stuff, they pick it right back up, man. The minute they get that credit card number, they're like locked in. So I'm just like, you know what? I have things shipped to my daughter, shipped to my grandson. I get free shipping with Prime, so that saves me. I was spending more shipping stuff than I do now. And I get other perks with it too, so. But yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll get on there and see if I can't find it. That'll be interesting. All right, Abe. Well, this time
there's a channel where I see movies that's online. The only thing I can say is this. I don't know if it's there or not. You know, awesome. You know how to spell awesome?
Yeah.
Well, add a F to the beginning. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Google that, and I don't know if it's there or not, but if you can spell awesome, just the F to the beginning of awesome.
Okay.
And there's all kinds of movies there.
I'll have to check it out and see because I'm not seeing it on here. I'm seeing a lot of good ones I haven't seen, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing it. There's
Yeah.
a movie on here called Dark Place. Sorry, Andres, go ahead.
I was about to say I was looking it up on Prime right now because I also have a Prime account, and it says the whole either buy or rent,
What?
and it has the same freaking uh the freaking title screen. But I'm in Illinois. It might be different in your area.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll have to look. I gotta. Guess I have to do a movie account to be able to get it. I have to. What? Look at here, Prime. Knock it off. Quit messing with me.
That's the weird thing, though, because on Prime it says it was released 2004 on here.
So you shouldn't have to pay for it right now, right? I would think.
No, I really shouldn't, but they sometimes take out things, add things, that sort of stuff. They've done that a few times with a few movies that I want them to keep, but they don't do it anyway.
Well, this movie looks interesting. Viking Wolf.
Oh, I've heard of that movie, but I haven't watched it.
I might have to. It looks interesting. Huh. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I need to do a binge watch weekend. I haven't done one in a while. I think I'm due. I do that every once in a while. Turn my phone off. Don't answer nobody, and I just sit and watch. I binge watch something. It's good for you to do that every once in a while. Disconnect from the world for a little bit.
There we go. 3 hours and 42 minutes.
Got it.
Yeah.
So see, if you can find it, just check it out. I don't know where you can find it. I thought it might have been on YouTube. I don't know what other movie places you could be able to find that.
Yeah, I'll check it out and look. I'll go through it and look and see what they say, how much it is if they say buy or rent. So I guess if you rent it, you have to watch the movie right then and there. Does it give you a certain time limit? I wonder. Oh,
Let me just. I got Sling. Let me see if Sling TV has it. I don't know if y'all got that or not.
it's free on
Yeah,
Pluto? Oh,
Yeah, it says it's free on Pluto.
I might have Pluto on my TV.
there you go. If it's on free on Pluto,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
it's not on Tubi TV.
I was gonna say I've got Tubi, I have Roku, and I have Pluto on my TV.
Oh, nice. There you go.
So I should be able to find it somewhere.
Hopefully.
Well, there you go,
Right.
folks.
All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here so you can get the show ended. Everybody in the chat, have a good night. Hit the like button, and we will see you next time, Abe. God bless, guys. Good night,
Good night,
Andrea.
Sister Brenda.
Brenda, take care. Yeah, I'm gonna log out too, Abe. I'm pretty sure that you need your sleep too.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me some rest.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me on. Thank you for talking and all that. Thanks for letting all of us on the panel talk and all that.
No problem, brother.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. Take care.
Yeah, Dog Soldiers is pretty good. In saying that, brothers and sisters, I want to say thank you to everybody that joined me here on the panel. Sister Brenda, Andres, Brother Scott, and to all the viewers and all the members of the Spiritual DDN Encounters. Hopefully, you'll be able to figure out Sister Cynthia next time we do a live on Thursday, so you can jump on here. Later on tonight, we'll have World War Wednesday. Cousin Jesse appears on World War Wednesdays. Hopefully, he'll appear for about at least 30 minutes. I don't know how he's feeling. I know he was here for a little bit tonight, and he didn't talk, but he was in the chat. I started a little bit early. But yeah, check out the movie Darkness. The only reason I'm telling you to check it out because, we know people dealing with the witchcraft necromancy is dealing with portals. I mean, if you've ever seen the movie Evil Dead, that's more of a comedy, right? Well, scary and comedy is something dealing with portals. Well, this movie, Darkness Falls, is dealing with portals, and I think it's dealing with. It's pretty interesting if you were to check it out. Andres Carrizales said it's free on YouTube. And saying that, good night, everybody. God bless y'all. Remember to maintain your Heavenly Love Foundation at all times. This is Brother Abe C.S., Soren C.S., signing off from Spiritual and DDN Encounters. Good night, everybody. Peace out.